Hello, everyone. You're watching Out of the Box podcast. I'm your host, Jim Andre, and I got my co-host here, Bradley Powers, and we do have a very special guest tonight. And I'm sure on a couple of streaming platforms like the Matrix and the Enigma platform, most people are familiar with Matthew Turner. How you doing, Matt?
Good evening. How are you guys doing?
Oh, well, we're doing great.
Pleasure to be with you guys.
Yeah, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Nobody special, homie. I'm just like you.
Morgan Roundtree says, what?
Hi, Morgan. Shout out to you. Hi, Beth.
Beth Ann says, howdy. How you doing, Beth?
Yeah, this is different. I'm sitting in the hot seat. That's all right.
Yeah, well, I've been on your show a couple of times, right? I think in the past,
Uh-huh.
twice, yeah, two times, I think. Vic is with us. Hi, Vic.
Mr. Vic.
So, what's your pleasure tonight, Matt? What would you like to cover tonight?
Well, I think that Vic and the Brat wants to go over some ancient Egyptian stuff, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure, yeah, that sounds good.
Before we begin, Matthew Turner, how would you describe yourself? How would you define yourself?
Crazier than hell. I would describe myself as just a normal human being, having an experience like everyone else. At least I think that there's everyone else in the world that I'm in. I mean, we talk about NPCs, non-playable characters. We talk about reptilians. We talk about draconians. We talk about all kinds of ETs. Like, so the world I am in has pretty much it's made me who I am today, and that is just someone who questions absolutely everything to do with my world. I question it. So that's what I guess would describe me is just someone who questions everything. Mr. Bradley Powers.
And that's the way to be. That's the way to be, because if anybody just takes everything, at face value, they'll only be fooling themselves.
You can't. These days, you absolutely cannot.
That's right.
I mean, we see things come across. I see things come across the Matrix inbox, as well as even my own private inbox of like everybody knows from the broadcast that I'm totally engulfed in Egypt. I love Egypt and our history, or I'm sorry, true history, not his story. But they know I like digging into it and getting into talking about what has been hidden from us for so very long. Bradley here, he is an esoteric kind of guy. He necromancer, he speaks to spirit. And there's so many things that have popped up in my life here in the last, I'd say 15 years, man, that has helped mold me even more than just the curiosity of the megalithic structures. You know what I'm saying? Tons and tons and tons of things in my world have made me question who I am. Even I can walk outside. Check this out, Jim. I can walk outside with my son and look up at the moon. He's like, "What are you thinking?" He's like, "Stop." I already know. Every time I go outside with him, I'm looking up at the moon. He's like, "What do you think about it?" I'm like, "Where the hell are we at, man?" He's like, "What?" Yeah, I know it.
Kyle Edward Fleury says, "Good evening. Check out the definition of human, folks."
Human, God, man. That's what I know it to be is the God man. I can show you guys hieroglyphics where, everybody talks about, well, God created the heavens and the earth, and he dabbled in in the clay and breathed the breath of life into man, and now we've got man. I can actually found some hieroglyphics in the temple of Hermes, I do believe, and I point out to a lot of people that what we're looking at is the genetic modification manipulation of the gods, literally cast on the Egyptian hieroglyphics in the temple of Hermes. Really interesting topic. Genetic modification, really interesting topic. Right now, always question everything, says Vic. Hell yeah. Always question everything. Even the world we're in. I look at Bradley. I look at Jim now, going from a guest to now him and Bradley running their own broadcast. And I love that, knowing that I'm part of this and they're part of my world. Whenever I met Jim coming to me, I don't even remember who brought Jim to me, or I may have went to him. I've heard over 15 years of doing this. I've heard all kinds of shit. I have heard all kinds of stories, right? But like I tell Jimmy, I have never in my life I believe, or even remotely was to believe that someone got contact, abducted. You're still in communication with, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. Yeah.
Who's gotten branded with a tattoo, ink or something, burnt ash, burnt skin, what the hell is that, Jim? What is that on your arm?
Well, I was beside myself without a doubt when it happened, but there's a tattoo right here.
Look at that, folks. The little face right there. Now, we from what I understand, we would, even Jim, right? You would like to find somebody in the world or in the nation here in the United States to test it, right?
Correct. Yeah, I'd like to have like a chemist or a dermatologist or anybody that could take a sample and test the chemical composition of the skin or the ink or whatever. As far as MUFON, that's a lost cause.
Well, of course,
Yeah.
Well, all of our platforms. You guys, to me, are my colleague. I am your colleague. Again, right. I'm not anybody special. I'm me. I'm just Matthew, Jim, Bradley, and
that's the thing. We're all on the same journey.
Sure.
What I mean? Yeah.
Sure. A lot of people that I come in contact with from time to time on the broadcast, man, you would not believe the comments that I read. And I'm going, you ain't no damn better than I am. For Christ's sakes, the broadcast that I release might be really, really good quality, right? But I've worked my ass off to get it to that quality.
Right.
Okay. I mean, I'm literally, fellas, I'm broadcasting. Look, that is the front street.
Right.
Okay. So it's just the way I've done the broadcast, the show, okay, that has caught the attention of people.
Right. Yeah. You have to put a little effort into it. Yeah. You gotta.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that again, that's how I got a hold of you. Because you wanted to talk and tell your story.
I think I seen you streaming one night, and I called in on the number that was on there.
Right.
And that's how we met, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, the platform. Bradley's flying the header over here, and I could not be more honored to see that logo. I'm serious. Because again, you guys,
we display that with pride, man. We got that there because we want it there,
Yeah, that's
I'm very honored. I'm very honored to have that up there and to be with you guys. My life is a very, very unique journey. I meet so many people.
Yeah. Well, the trick is to keep moving forward and doing what you believe in. That's what I do.
So many people.
I get, the thing is being genuine, Jim. Be genuine.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of people's like, you seem pretty cool to hang out with. I wonder what you'd be like off air. I'm going, you give me some mojo, give me some coffee, and let's have a night. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm the same person. I'm the same person off air as I am on air. What you get, what you see is what you get. I can be a complete asshole to those who treat me like crap, and I'm usually all love and light first, bro. I love people, love talking to people. Thank you, Morgan. Bless your heart. Whatever you guys would like to discuss with me, I'm pretty open. You guys want to go over something specific with the pyramids? You guys want to go over the geolocation, how they were built? Whatever you guys would love to talk about.
It's to me, what's amazing is the a recent discovery of that black pyramid there. What was that in
Antarctica?
Yeah.
It's not a new thing, though.
No, I know. What do you think the true meaning of the pyramids are? I mean, what are they there for? I mean, they're so intricate with being able to produce energy aligned perfectly with the stars and the planets, ley lines and such. Well, what do you think, in your opinion, what do you think the meaning is behind it?
Well, I can share with you that I released an audio. Some maybe a week ago. Okay. If you were to go to YouTube and search how were the pyramids built, you would see, I will tell you, probably from 3 years ago, you will see the number one video. I wish I could share my screen. Can I share my screen somehow?
You should be able to. Yeah. Do you see down there where it says present?
Present? Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Let me see if I can share with you what I'm wanting to give you here. All right, so I'm going to share this screen over to my left.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find I'm sharing the audio as well, so you will be able to hear the audio. And what it was that I created so that everyone can see that there is an alternative, right? Because that's what we are. We are alternative people, right? We are alternative media. We are alternative news, alternative, because we're not bought and paid for.
That's right.
But by the people. And I don't believe that I would ever truly sell out and have my show completely dictated by people. There's no way in hell I could do that. And I think they truly know that.
Right.
I'm serious, dude. I truly think and believe in my heart that the system absolutely positively knows what I'm telling you is I will not sell out. Okay, so I've got this audio. You asked me the question.
Mm-hmm.
I want to introduce something here. For some reason, it's not shown video, and I don't know why. Do you guys see a black screen? Or
there's
it's just a black screen, isn't it?
Oh, there it is.
All right. Can you see my screen?
We can see it on the bottom, but not in the main screen.
Present. There we go. All right. So I released an audio as well as like this little thing. This pretty much just says the architect of the Great Pyramid. This is channel. You guys, Bradley, you believe in you're esoteric. You're a necromancer. You know what channeling is. Jim, same way. We know what channeling is.
What that is. Yep.
So there is a lady out there by the name of Jay-Z Knight, right? And she was hijacked, and I do believe in the mid. I don't quote me on this. 80s or early 80s, in her kitchen, she was presented this entity in front of her, and that entity's name was Ramtha, Ramtha, Ramtha. So a lot like today's channels, that like Bashar or Cryon or whatnot, they deliver unique information. So Ramtha was supposedly a not only a warrior but a deity of some sort, connoisseur back in the ancient Atlantean days. Okay, didn't say Lemurian, I didn't say Mu, I said Atlantean. So knowing that this entity came from that time period, this is why this video that I'm about to play for you will give you one hell of an understanding of what question Jim asked, and that is, how were they built, and or why were they built, and how. And remember, this video that I'm about to play for you, not only was it removed from me 4 times, but this was literally at one point in time the #1 video until the viewership was pretty much stolen, and now points to the very, very top link whenever you go and say, who built the Great Pyramids? It no longer will take you to this audio that I'm about to play. It now takes you to whatever the hell mainstream wants you to know.
Right,
or
what they want us to see, right?
Right. So all of the views on Jay-Z's video, not necessarily my video, but her video, on the presentation from Ramtha about the Great Pyramid, it will literally blow your mind. If you have an open mind, you've got to have that open mind, though, fellas.
Right.
And I say that because it's so. The audio I'm about to share with you, literally, it is so off mainstream. You'll literally lose viewership simply because of this challenges their history so hard they don't know what to do with it. I'm being serious.
Well, that's okay, because that's why this is called Out of the Box. So this is perfect.
Well, welcome to the Out of Box broadcast, because this one here, you've definitely got to have an out of box side to you that questions everything. And this right here totally resonates in my heart of what I read outside of the biblical canon. You know what I'm saying? So everything we're about to hear, if you got any questions, you want me to stop, please just let me know, okay?
All right.
And I'll do that.
All right.
Master.
With the history course going, I've always had a question I've been fairly interested in about the pyramid, and the great one, I mean, at Giza. from its conception, whether it was human or I imagine it was. When?
Everything is
When
human.
and who? And who?
34,000 years ago was the conception of Gaia. It was conceived as it were indeed in the latter days of the fall of that which is termed Atlasia, when already that which is termed the motherland moved and all of its pilgrim movement through that which is termed the isthmus of the canal that connected that which is termed Lemuria into that which is termed Atlasia, into the southern port called Onai, to that which is termed the upper crust of what is called Atlasia entity upon what is called your eastern seaboard, it already as it were indeed began to fall. There was only parcels of that which is termed the landmass called, as it were indeed Atlasia left at that particular point. And as the canal widened, as it were indeed, that which is termed large landmass began to separate. That which is called your Brazil and that which is called your South America. They were once one and the same landmass, and their peak, as it were indeed, supported that which is termed the upper continent.
I gotta stop this here for a second, and I'll tell you why. Because she gave you Ramtha gave you a time frame, right? 34,000 years ago.
Right.
And now I refer to what he says 34,000 behind what I refer to as timeline 0. Okay, 0 being literally the 0 point between -1 and +1. You follow me, right?
Right.
Minus 1 would be BC, right?
Okay.
-2 BC, right? So now we are in plus 2024. You understand this?
Right.
So remember, Ramtha says 34,000 years ago, the conception of of the pyramid there on the Giza Plateau. We're talking 34,000 negative to the 0.
Right.
Not including 2024. So
Right.
okay, that's a long time ago. Here's the kicker. If you go to there's an old globe online. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but you can go to a globe, and what it will do is it will recreate the globe as we know it with a little slider. Okay, it'll show you where the continental land masses were at during the time frames in which you ask it to present you. So again, with what Ramtha just said, every single thing, I want you to just remember this. The Matrix on my broadcast, as well as these fellows, I've heard them say it. We're not going to say or share anything with you that is not research. Number one, researchable. The majority of it be, to our understanding, factual. Okay, if we're going to present something to you, it's past our 98% factual bullshit meter.
Right.
Okay, you know what I'm saying. So
right.
Everything that she's talking about or Ramtha's talking about, you can literally research it. Just wanting to throw that out there. Any questions thus so far, Jim?
Yeah, man has been around, what, according to estimates, about 200,000 years.
Well, that's, I do believe, plus give or take.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. We just appeared on the fossil record. Everything just appeared.
Right.
Okay.
In other words, there's no signs of like natural evolution.
Right. I mean, we just, I don't know. One day Bradley decided to crawl up out of the ocean, eat a mosquito. Mosquito shits out Bradley's stuff, and then we got little Bradleys walking around all the time.
I always told Bradley it's all his fault.
Some say we sprouted legs and come from the ocean. We were fish to start with. Some believe.
All right, so let me get back to this pyramid thing. If that's correct.
As the canal widened, as it were indeed, and the land changes with the shifting of that which is termed as it were indeed, the oceanic floor began, as it were. The separation of pressure caused, as it were indeed, the two land masses to separate. The canal, as it were indeed, to which the pilgrims from that which is termed moved, fled into that which is termed the Atlasia, ported themselves in the southernmost sphere. In that which is termed the latter days, to that which is termed as it were indeed its destruction, there came forth as it were indeed, up into that which is termed the Mongolian lands, into that which is termed the Sudan, into that which is termed as it were indeed Egypt now in your counting, a great peoples, the composite made up of that which is termed Northerners, or later to be called Ionians, and that which is termed as it were indeed Mu and Atlassian people. They came forth as it were indeed into the tribes people that were all mahogany. The original Egyptians as it were indeed entity were grand in their stature, reaching what is called 7 feet in your term as it were indeed, with mahogany skin and green eyes. They possessed as it were indeed into their gender that which is termed the copper-haired beauties with mahogany skin. They came forth the light peoples, declared as it were indeed upon that which is termed remembering the power within them, or the God within them, or the unknown God, the power central focused within, devised that which is termed a temple, or be a beacon unto mankind in all of his life, unto that which is termed the power within. What is called a pyramid means fire in the middle. It was constructed as it were indeed in its alignment to that which is termed the true northern pole, as it were indeed, aligned to other such structures as it were indeed throughout that which is termed the northern sphere, to be as it were indeed gateways not only of travel, for the travel in those days that were indeed with the arrow ships and with that which is termed as it were indeed light synthesis that traveled in a straight line, does not follow the curvature of the earth. At each point as it were indeed there were a beacon for that which is termed the light to focus upon. That which is termed Giz as it were indeed was first constructed entity, that which is called timber. And the small timbers as it were indeed begin to collapse under that which is termed as it were indeed the waterways. Thus that which is termed as it were indeed the stone was thus erected. The stone as it were indeed was cut with laser light, precisely. But it is the only tool as it were indeed that can cut in what is called a straight line. Was cut with light as it were indeed, and deactivated according to that which is termed as it were indeed gravitational fields through that which is termed thought. The thought creating an anti-gravital field lifted the blocks as it were indeed precisely within that which is termed 3/4 of an inch of its entire base together. It was constructed as it were indeed that each of these forms formulated that which is termed a power surge within the center of them, that which is termed the precise angles, lacking that which is termed as it were indeed a quarter of what is termed the main base, to that which is termed as it were indeed the height to the apex, would create that which is termed a fire, or an energy field within its own circumference. That each of the blocks cut as it were indeed, and the preciseness of their measures it were indeed also added to that which is termed the lateral movement of power. When the pyramid as it were indeed was finished entity, it was erected as a beacon also for travel. It was once sheathed into that which is termed as it were indeed, completely with what you call turquoise with its outer sheath, complete walls of it on all sides, and its capstone as it were indeed was that which is termed solid gold, a great carrier as it were indeed of emotion. Since then it has been as it were indeed attacked and defaced and the capstone removed. When you go within as it were indeed its perfect alignment, all things that were indeed are held forever in their place in being, even a thought. If you go in there and place as it were indeed whatever in the main chamber entity, it will stay that way, it will never change. It brought forth as it were indeed that this power, that this Christ within was forever, God within. They built it as it were indeed as a remembrance of their true identity, of the power that lodges itself within man, that it is forever and can hold things forever. When all were built as it were indeed in their mode of existence, they permitted as it were indeed a travel to occur from point to point, apex being that which is termed the conductor of light fields. And they found as it were indeed that all life could sustain in further generations entity. They became entombments. And later as it were indeed because of ravishing, the entombments went underground. The original constructor of it were indeed was an entity called Hermes. Hermes as it were indeed was the architect from nowhere. He was a prophet without a land. He was a man without colors it were indeed, and came forth and designed it. That which is termed Rata bin as it were indeed, being that which is termed the first Pharaoh, being that which is termed as it were indeed the first Christ, being that which is termed the father of the Egyptian people as it were indeed, brought forth the first realization of Christus, seen in that which is termed God-man, the temple erected as it were indeed to represent the power within man, or that which is termed as it were indeed, not even this day in your time can such a temple be made with the exactness that this one has been made. That is its history.
Okay, so I guess that covered that, right? Did that answer your question?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay. I absolutely had to get that presented to you, man. And the reason why is because years ago I heard that I was searching through YouTube and I stumbled upon Jay-Z Night and her channelings, and I'm like, pyramids, because I've been always into pyramids, right? So I search for it, and it come up with her explanation, and bro, I'm talking millions upon millions of views, right? And then shortly thereafter, about 4 years later, that video you see as gone. It's just gone. So what you just heard was once on the internet, and just unbelievable views on it. People searching, they're searching for answers. They want answers. So there was an answer in my view, and the way my heart feels.
So it makes you kind of wonder why it's no longer available, right?
Why what's no longer available?
The video, right?
Yeah.
Down, right?
It's definitely down. It's definitely gone. It's been gone. I have put it up, I think 3 or 4 times. Yeah. Bradley,
So
you have been just you are just a broad, a finger type and pointing to click and click.
Excuse me.
Huh?
Yeah, Matthew, I've been sharing the show and sharing it to groups, listening to
yeah,
it.
well,
That's
actually,
what I
what he's
do.
doing is he's practicing for thumb wrestling and upcoming
is that what he's doing?
match. Yeah.
All right. All right.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe we could talk about the the empty sarcophagus in the King's Chamber.
All right.
Like that. When I visited the pyramids when I was 22, 23, and that's 25.
When you
Years
visited
ago?
the pyramids, Bradley, could you feel a difference in any of the energy around you?
Yeah, there was a difference in energy. I agree with that. Although I wasn't as spiritually heightened as I am now, I wasn't so much then. And like it was an honor to go there.
Well,
But I didn't fully understand the concept of what I was actually looking at. I don't believe. Even though I've been a spiritualist all my life, I wasn't fully awakened at the concept of being at the pyramids, of what we're actually looking at.
well, what you just asked, Jim and Bradley, with what you just asked, I've got to share another screen here, and that I can share that one here. I guess again, thinking outside of the box, right? We're told in the esoteric world that what is the word? The words I'm looking for. Hang on one second. Get over here twice more and share the audio. Yeah. All right. The things that we are presented, again, you just don't judge it and or believe it straight out of the gate, and cut your nose off to spite your face, because what you're being presented may just exactly not really, like we were saying earlier, be
right. I mean, it's got to be analyzed to a certain extent, right?
Yeah. With going with the question that you asked me, again, let me present this over here. Where am I at? Bradley or somebody's gonna have to change the layout of the screen.
All right, there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
So this is what we're looking at is an occultic ritual. Okay. And I don't know if you guys have the ability to drop this page in your chat or not for everybody, because I'm just saying what I do is I grab the link over here. I grab the link and I'll throw it in the chat so people know and can get to what we're seeing. We're looking at Isis, we're looking at Horus, we're looking at Osiris. Nevertheless, what we're looking at, okay, is an old occultic teaching, but yet it's formulated from a ritual that was taken from, I think I pointed this out to you, Bradley, a while back, which was the biblical non-canon Bible called the Kolbrin. Okay, the Kolbrin Bible. This ritual, from what I understand, has been taken from a biblical text or a sacred text, but never, ever, ever, brought out to light and canonized. Of course, it's not going to canonize it because it's whenever we start talking about, seeing this, I'm going to share some things with you in this. And I truly believe that this Hermetica type document that we're reading here, I truly believe that it was passed down from the mind of Thoth the Atlantean. Okay, because in this ritual, it depicts going through deprivation. Okay, deprivation to massive hallucinogenic rituals, to being feminized, to being King Pharaoh. Okay, we've seen a lot of people say or ask if the if the pyramids were initiation chambers. What I'm about to show you is to me absolutely fact to that. Okay, again, this text can be found at WayneStewart.com. If these guys drop the link in the chat, you guys will see it. But nevertheless, this specific ritual, I believe personally, is one of the rituals that Christ himself went through and survived. Okay, I'm saying survived, because a lot of the kings, a lot of the pharaohs, a lot of the queens, blah blah blah, globally would have went through and or went underneath of this ritual or initiation. And again, very, very few people, if very hardly any, survived this ritual. So to me, Jim, the sarcophagus that you asked about was indeed it was the chamber, okay, for kingship, third eye, as well as your what's called your lotus chakra.
Yeah.
Okay, to be completely, fully wide awake, alert, you at that point become God man. If you make it through the initiation process, the final step would be that king's chamber. You've got the deprivation, excuse me, the deprivation in the subterranean chamber. Then you've got the feminine aspect of learning thyself in the middle chamber. 0 point electromagnetic scale at a 51 degree times 4 times 6 times 8 size. This pyramid was built for this. They knew what they were doing. It was no coincidence. Okay, it was not coincidence at all. Let me go down through here. Talks about this is why, Jim, this is really, really significant to drop this link in the chat. Father, who came through the understanding. Well, actually, I'm gonna go. I pretty much went through it, but however, I wanted you guys to see and/or marriage chamber. We're talking about the spirit. That's what this is talking about. Is marrying your totality with the being. In other words, is undergoing the physical ego death. Whenever this ritual talks about entering into the chamber and walking through the darkness, yada yada yada, it talks about the physical death, and then the marriage of the crown chakra being opened up, and you are now one with source. This is one of the reasons why they say, well, Christ says, if you see me, you see the Father. You didn't really get beyond this ritual and not already walk upon this earth after that, knowing that you truly are one badass individual. So there's a lot more. Whenever people talk about Christianity with me, to me, whenever they talk about Christ's teaching and Christ's life, they're to me, never really people that never even really asked me what I think about Christ. I'm telling you right now, if you read this, you'll see that I see that teacher was one badass teacher. He was the most badass compared to Thoth the Atlantean. Okay, he ranked right up there because he has, from what I understand, I'm just saying, survived the Roman crucifixion. I say that because there's more than 2 Jesuses that have undergone or whatever this ritual, or the world would like to present you with two Christs. The one that
Right.
they say that died in Israel, over in Israel,
Mhm.
Jordan, Jerusalem, and then we've got another one that has survived a Roman crucifix, the one that died in India. Okay, there's more to the story than what we're presented, but that's okay. I'm not going to go into that. You asked about what were they for, and not only did I'm sorry, you asked specifically about the sarcophagus. That's what you asked about, and that is what I believe it to be. Right there is the initiation ritual.
Interesting.
Interesting. Okay.
Can you read out the link, Matthew? Can you read out the link and then I can type it in the book?
Can I read that link?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's WayneStewart.com / well, make this a little bigger if I can. No, I can't. / P as in Paul equals page 146. Just type in there
/ question mark.
Yeah, question
I've
mark.
got that.
P as in Paul
Yeah.
equals 146. Or I do believe you can actually check this out. Do you want even better? Go to Matrix Minds. Quick plug. Quick plug here, y'all.
I've got it. Wayne Stewart's blog, Twice Spawn. Got it.
Or you go to matrixminds.us, and up here in the very where it says reading room. See where it says reading room?
Yeah.
There's the blog in which that was taken out of. Just wanted to share that with you. Okay. All right. Any other questions? I'm trying to give you presentations on every question you ask me.
Yeah. Well done.
Morgan Roundtree says, I wonder if this teaching is radicalized by the born again movement.
The born again movement, I think she's if I know Morgan, I think she's trying to refer to the Christianity version of twice born. You must be born again to enter the kingdom of heaven. Blah 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 blah.
She goes on to say, Jesus said, "I am the way," which means he was imploring us to live and see the world as he saw it.
Okay, that with what statement that Morgan just dropped there, you got to think. Okay, Christ says in his teaching, he tells you must literally be like a child whenever you look at this reality. That's what he's tried to say many times.
Right.
I mean, that's like whenever you hear him being tempted in the Garden of Gethsemane, you hear him being tormented, and not tormented, but presented again at the mountains of so and so, when air quotes Satan says, all you got to do is bow down to me and or throw yourself off the bow down to me and I will give you everything in which you see. Right. Christ already went through that. I'm sorry, that dimethyltryptamine experience, knows that his fundamental reality is ran by him, the word manifested by him, created by him, and all of the collective that we're working with. He had a completely different understanding of reality than those that crucified him. I'm sorry, those that crucified him wanted what we've got today, and that is conformity, control. And that's why I truly believe that the book, just saying, the book is a control mechanism, completely manufactured in a way that's going to scare the holy hell out of you,
right? Okay,
and condemn you for eternity. When Christ said that's not even real. If you go, right. if you look at the book of Thomas, the book of Thomas will clearly tell you. Christ is telling you, telling you, Christ is saying in the book of Thomas, if someone tells you that the kingdom of heaven is in the ocean, then the fish of the ocean will precede you to heaven. He also says, if someone tells you that the birds of heaven, the birds are in the sky are in heaven, then that means that the birds in the sky is going to precede you to heaven. It's here. Right. Whenever we start, in fact, if we get our mind, if we let our mind get the hell out of the way and let the heart take over, I think we'd all be in a lot damn better place, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it all comes from within. Yeah.
Right. And this initiation ceremony that I presented to you guys in that blog absolutely tells you of that Christ death experience. It truly does. The twice born ritual absolutely will nail it. No pun. It will nail it home that you've literally got to have a physical death. Understand that Bradley's me and I am Jim, and we're all one another, and put away our differences, no matter what they be. This is why I won't never fight with religion with anybody. I could care less. I don't care.
Yeah, we all got our own beliefs and concepts,
Sure. What's hard is like getting the ego belief out of the way. That's really, really, really hard. You know what I'm saying? It's like Vic says, right? Whenever we talk about Christ consciousness, is about what is achieved as a man. Hell yeah. I completely agree with that, Vic. It is like I said, it is about Christ consciousness. And it is truly, I believe that it's coming back. I see it in my world. 3 days a week. It's called the Matrix of Minds.
Mm-hmm.
That place, dude, is I totally love everybody in the chat. I can feel the love as well as I can also feel the hate. I kid you not. I feel coming through the camera from time to time. Absolute hate towards me, dude. I'm serious. I've showed you. You guys have seen some of the email.
Right.
I consider it nothing but.
Well, yeah. I mean,
trolls,
you can't make everybody happy. I mean, everybody's got their own different ways of, looking at things, and I mean that's expected. They have a right to their own opinions,
Of course, I completely agree with you.
But I mean, if they come negative at me, that don't bother me at all. I just let it roll off my back. I just go on doing what I believe in, and
you got to. You got to, man. Right?
Yeah, we have a policy: don't respond to hate mail because you're only feeding the troll, and like any attention, good or bad, is what they're seeking. Any attention at all. Cody Guerrero says, "Tell me more about the secret of the soul, sir."
I heard you say the secret of the what?
The soul. Cody Guerrero.
Soul. Well, the Egyptians had, as well as those in that day. You've got to remember, if going back to, let's just say, some of the oldest sacred texts on this planet, okay, and truly behind there's books, there's several books that I want you guys to all think about looking into, and I do believe you can find them on what's called sacredtext.com. Let me verify that, and I'll give you guys a link here. I'll show you the link here. Again, I'm not quite sure of the sacred. Is it sacredtext.com? That is it. Sacred-text.com. 1 second. I'm gonna give you guys the link to where you can see exactly what it is. Where am I at? I'm trying to find you guys, and then I'll share my screen to where you can see it. All right. Hey, bear with me. All right, present. Share screen. Share screen. I'm looking at the entire thing right over here. So, all right. So, what we're looking at is sacred-text.com. Anything over here. If anything you guys would want to research about the soul, take it back as far as you possibly can take it. And I say that because a lot of the canon, okay, is you're going to find it up in here. These are sacred texts that have been archived digitally, and they go anywhere from the books of Adam and Eve to the book of Enoch to the book of Thomas to the book of Theosis, to you name it. Every single sacred text that I've ever tried to find to really dig is right here on this website. It is not mine. I'm just saying it's a place for you to get answers to a lot of your questions, because I can tell you all about what I know about the soul being fragmented, Jim being part of my experience, Bradley being part of my experience, you
That's
being
right,
part of my experience.
because we're all part of the same energy.
Right. Because everything that you'll get to in these books, this is why they have hidden. I say the word they, you guys immediately know who the hell I'm talking about. The very moment I say they, you immediately say upper echelon, the powers that be, we can actually name names, right? They're hiding something. But they're hiding it behind you. They're hiding your understanding of what you are, who you are, why you are, behind what's called the word occult. The word occult does not mean juju, right? It don't mean that. It means hidden, secret.
Right.
Okay. So fundamentally, going back through all of these sacred texts, I had a rude awakening that holy shit, I am part of Jim's life and Bradley's part of my life, and yada yada yada. And maybe Christ really did go through an initiation in the pyramid called the twice born ritual. Oh my God, what am I talking about? What the hell? I believe in Jesus. But I believe in the right. The mind starts to go, whoa. You're like, wait a minute. Did the dude just tell me that Christ may have got initiated in the Great Pyramid? Yeah, I did. I absolutely said that. And then you go further and say, well, what did he teach? Christ didn't teach Christianity. What did he learn? Because he traveled, right? This master teacher taught what? He taught the fundamental principles of paganism and Hinduism. Okay. That's what he learned. And it's what he taught. He taught, to love thy neighbor. He taught, for me to be not all ego driven and it's all me, where we're at today, right? That's where we're at today. This big me.
Right.
Taught complete opposite of that. Okay. In fact, if you really want to know the truth, okay, it's whenever, get this, if you're going to give and you're going to give to somebody, your best bet is to give to a homeless guy that is truly, you see them walking over to a dumpster and grabbing a sandwich. That's right. That man right there, that man or woman right there needs you to not just buy them a sandwich, but Christ also told you to talk to them. Talk to them. You'll learn more about that homeless man that you bought a sandwich from, life, than you will in church in a day.
That's right. Communication. Yeah.
Okay. This is why you got to think. Okay. Christ didn't just like say, I'm teaching to just the rich people and we're those people that can buy their way in. No. This teacher, this Jesus that I know, walked straight up into the streets of Jericho and said,
yeah, he went among the peasants. Yeah,
that's correct. Yeah. He runs straight up into the streets of Jericho and says, all of you, come. Let's talk to one another. Come listen. Let me teach you what I now know about your world.
Right.
Okay. I mean, talking like, what's the word? The good word. There's not really a good word for it, but not a stripper. I'm gonna go through the whole damn name. Oh, that's it. I was gonna say the whore, the prostitutes, right? This is another reason why Christ taught to the prostitutes. It's not because they were destitute and they were lesser than, because they were not lesser than. They would just simply listen.
Right.
They would listen to the teaching. This is a lot of what people don't get from me on the Matrix. They just hear me like they hear me condemning someone's belief and understanding or understanding in a belief, but never really truly give me the opportunity to share what I know about what Christ is or what he did. You know what I'm saying? To me, he's the one badass teacher, and they crucified for him. You know what I'm saying? Again, that's to me is the Christ that survived the crucifixion in India. Look it up. Jesus Christ in India, crucifixion? Question mark? Yeah, research that one. That'll blow your mind.
Midnight Rider says, "Good evening, gentlemen. Do any of you substantially believe in reincarnation?"
Yeah, absolutely.
I do. Yes, I do.
I do. Yeah, I absolutely do.
There's no doubt in my mind that, the way I see it, nature is a never-ending recycling process from day and night, seasons to lifetimes.
I think it varies. Like, not everyone experiences reincarnation, but some do. Depends on what you do while you're here in this realm, your purpose in life.
Well,
The journey you walk.
It's all about the energy, When these meat sacks run out of existence, the energy just moves on and takes another shape and form, another place, another time.
Well, the fundamental principle of what we know energy to be is that it cannot be created nor destroyed. It just simply is.
Exactly.
So, with that teaching, right, with what you're just saying, and Knight Rider asking the question, if whether we believe in it or not, I can't help but go to a teaching by also the teacher known as Thoth, right? Thoth. Thoth. Or Thoth. The Greeks knew him as Hermes, right? And the teaching was, Jesus himself provided reincarnation, proved reincarnation.
Proved, by his resurrection. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I will go on that one as well, saying that in the Christ knowing and waking up to the knowledge of what he is as a creator, God creator, is knowing that you can we are okay. Let's go back to something that we all know, and that is the awareness. What are you? Are you awareness or are you aware?
You're consciously aware. Yeah.
But there's a question in that answer. You just said it. You're consciously aware, but are you aware or are you conscious? What are you?
Are you aware when you're unconscious?
There you go. You added the word un meaning undone.
Unconscious, are you
undone? Un means undone, right?
Right.
Or not done. So the wording that we spout out of our mouth, right? Whether we be mad, whether it be whatever it be. The easy energy to create with is anger. Really. It's hard though in 3D that my belief third density is definitely challenging. We see it as in fact hell the Hopi, the Egyptians, the Mayan, they couldn't wait to get the hell out of this place. In fact, you've got Hindu Buddhist monks literally that will set them. I'm not trying to encourage anybody. Don't set yourself ablaze just to try to get the hell out of here. You're done. Okay. You see what I'm saying? But there have been monks throughout the day, the time, we all know this, that have set themselves on fire, said, fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah.
They know, they realize that their life path is just a hero's journey. And there's a key word there, hero's journey. Google it. The hero's journey. Google it. You'll learn a lot from just that. Manly P. Hall. No, I know right now Bradley knows that name. Great teacher, great esoteric occult wisdom teacher, Manly P. Hall. Awful quiet, fellas.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, like I don't actually follow anyone, but like you've got H.P. Lovecraft and like some say a genius and a beast, Aleister Crowley, and which he actually manifested a lot of changes in the occult. You're probably familiar with him anyway, Matthew.
No, I don't know nothing about Aleister Crowley.
So Dennis Wheatley, who is famous for writing, he's a novelist who wrote many satanic books based on fiction, although very close to the truth. He actually said to Aleister Crowley that you are the most evil man in the world, because Aleister Crowley has the ability to open and close portholes, and he opened portholes in the cosmos and he failed to close them. And like he probably opened a dozen portholes without closing them, allowing negative energy to come through. Anything could come through. And so Dennis Wheatley actually slandered him for that. That's what he's known for.
You know that Aleister. Okay, back in the day, I guess what got me to even go down that rabbit hole was the time that we gotta remember that the word I'm looking for, whenever we go through emotional grief, whenever we go through turmoil with trauma, and how the hell of a life is called what? We're suffering, right?
Right.
A life of suffering.
Right.
From what I know now, after being into clinical hypnotherapy and past life regression, this ties right into Knight Rider's question also, is reincarnation real? There's plenty of, don't just believe what I'm telling you, but plenty of other people online where you can do research of the past life regression. So past life regression hypnotherapy, and you'll watch some people being going through that past life regression, as well as going back into their past life and speaking it. Right, they'll literally speak the experience. So going and knowing that Aleister Crowley suffered a great deal whenever he was growing up. You got to remember, whenever Crowley growing up at a very young age, we all do. Some of us, our fathers were our heroes, right? Or let's just say we looked up to our fathers a great deal. Well, that's what happened to Crowley. At a very young age, Crowley would travel. He would travel with his father, who was a preacher of Pentecost, right? He was a preacher. And Crowley, at a very young age, was, again, preaching himself as a young child. And next thing you know, Crowley's father, later on in Crowley's younger life, talking, mid 20s, decided to acquire cancer. His father did, and he literally died of I think tongue or throat cancer. Crowley went mad, okay, because his hero, number one, his hero was gone and taken from him at a very young age. Number two, how could God do this to him? How could God do this to my father? He preached the word of God. He preached your word. Why would you do that?
Right.
Crowley cracked. He literally broke. So whenever he did, he started going completely mad. They called him psychotic. They called him mad. Like Bradley said, they called him the most wicked man in the world. I myself look at Aleister Crowley as a fucking genius.
Yep.
I look at him as an absolute genius. And here's why. A lot like, let's go back to the Old Testament for a minute, okay? The Old Testament, you've got King Saul, right? King Saul and Samuel. The story of King Saul and Samuel. Their God at the time was Yahweh. Let's not mistake the Old Testament for the New Testament. We're talking about the God of Yahweh. Told King Saul in the Old Testament for them to literally eradicate. Yahweh said, I want you to eradicate an entire civilization. I want you to destroy every Canaanite, both man, woman, child, and anything that belongs to them. Well, King Saul says, days later, he comes back to Yahweh, and then Yahweh sends him away, sends Samuel to sends Samuel, okay, to Saul. Because what had happened here is he disobeyed the Lord Yahweh.
Right.
Right? Are you familiar with the story?
Yeah, I've heard it. I've heard it before. Yeah.
Okay. Well, King Saul disobeyed Yahweh's full command,
Uh-huh.
the Lord's command, because he was told to destroy everything, not
Right.
just a selective like what he should, but everything, literally everything. Again, so Samuel comes and says, "You disobeyed, you dishonored the Lord." And now he's going to eradicate. Now he put me in charge, and I'm going to finish what you started. I will finish the job. By the way, you are now denounced king. Wait, what? This is you know what I'm saying? This is what Crowley's like, whoa. Crowley starts putting two and two together that, we've got lords, we've got lordships, we've got priests, we've got priestesses, we've got kings, we've got bishops, right?
Yeah.
What is this? This is a hierarchy to this system. Crowley knew this and started learning this at a very young age. And again, he was mad. If there was a creator, then he was going to be like the ultimate, and he was going to find this creator any way possible.
Right.
So, okay, didn't matter how he wanted to just do this. So what I got out of the Crowley story was, again, he's mind fragmented. He didn't care. Every single commandment that he knew, loved, and taught, he's going to break it, and he's going to break it with honor.
Right.
Okay. So he goes against the biblical teaching, right, and starts learning the occult. Now, again, the occult is esoteric teaching, and I'll tell you, it is Canaanite manuscripts that have been left out of the Bible. The occultic books are nothing more. I'll say it again. The occultic books are nothing more than teaching left out of the manuscript that they want you to have.
Right.
Okay, that is what I believe the occult teachings to be. So again, Crowley starts learning satanic occultism teaching, coined as the most evil or wicked man in the world. When what he did do is he questioned and or pushed the fabric boundaries of reality to the point where we now know there's a ritual called the Thelema. Everybody knows it. We've all heard that Crowley opened a portal during his ritual, yada, yada, yada. Do you guys remember this? I say that, or I'm mentioning this because our own military know about this. Our military, the NSA, all you guys in there, right? All you ABCs, you're very aware of the Thelema portal Crowley connection. There's more to the non-physicality than meets the eye, or our own ABCs wouldn't have any interest in it at all.
Right.
Think about that, Jenny.
Yeah, the Cabal is well versed in that as well.
Yeah, sure.
and it said the magic in K, Magick. K stands for Cabal. I'm saying.
Any other questions? I'm kind of liking this. This is cool.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, a little bit of Aleister Crowley. Yeah, because he is a little bit like woo woo.
Yeah, well, Bradley. Here's the thing. He's woo woo. He's woo woo because he doesn't think like the normie. He doesn't think. He thinks out of the box.
Right. He's on the unbeaten path.
Right.
Originally with the Golden Dawn, then he formed the Templar Order Template Orientis, OTO. Am I close enough? Am I making sense, Matthew? Order Template Orientis. He created that order.
Tammy Bonham says, but we're tight in this we're tight and this is witchcraft. If I'm not mistaken, and why do they poison our food so we can't open our pineal gland?
Well, leave that comment up there for a second because
all right.
And a lot of the way we need to realize that we speak into our world with what question. There's a question in there, and her own soul self delivered the answer. Do you see it? But we're taught, okay, that this is witchcraft. If I'm not mistaken, that was a question. Listen to what I'm telling you. A lot of what we talk and the way we speak, we literally get our own answers given to us in the questions that we ask. That's just the way it works. That's just the way spirit works. So spirit gave you the answer to your own question, Tammy, in your question. Our pineal gland, okay? The pineal gland is the key, okay? And they're labeling it as witchcraft. And you know damn well you're not mistaken. Okay. And the poisoning of our food so that you cannot open your pineal gland. You know these things. So, but we're taught that witchcraft is not, we're taught these things as witchcraft. You're right. But again, do you see where you answered your own beautiful question? Amazing shit. Good stuff, fellas.
And the occult could be viewed as an esoteric library. It hasn't been manipulated by mankind like the Bible has, and it's also contains words of power which are in the Bible. Words of power are also in the esoteric library or the occult. Some say it's the oracle, because if you summon and conjure words of power in a ritual, some say it's possible to create ripples in the cosmos, causing manifestations to occur. That's how magic works. Although it said if you don't believe in magic, then you wouldn't see it. So everything's debatable at the end of the day. And the 1%, it could be said that they became abundance with power, wealth, riches by summoning and conjuring rituals from the occult. But they don't want you to be blessed with the same phenomenon that they have been blessed with. Therefore, they have shared, brainwashed, and encouraged everyone to have the belief that the occult is
exactly.
evil.
It's all right. It's exactly all about control.
The occult is evil, and it will ruin your life, which is not exactly a lie. However, the evil part.
The evil part is the control that they maintain. That's the evil part.
That is. Think about this though. That is the reaction to an action.
Right.
Okay. That is a law within the Kabbalion teaching. For every action, there is a reaction. They're looking to these a lot of these. You got not a lot of them. I'll say all of them. All of these upper echelon that are we doing them as like real cabal, real reptilians, real David Icke's favorite word is what does David Icke teach about? The word primarily it is a non-biometric virus entity, and here again, these things are non-creative, imagine being a non-creative energy, because to them we are nothing more than a battery. Okay,
Right.
they're feeding on that negativity, they're feeding on that energy, right? And they'll steal it, they'll forge it, they'll do whatever the hell they can do to get you to produce this loosh. I'm sorry, did I say the word? Yeah, the loosh.
Yeah.
Loosh.
Loosh, yeah.
We know what this is.
Yeah, loosh. And that is, what is loosh? Loosh is energy which we manifest from ourselves. And energy
David-
is the currency of the universe.
Yeah, David Icke is a firm believer in what you believe in. You could actually manifest.
Well, all reality, if you really sit back and listen to these teachers, what they say. I'm talking from Saint Germain to Thoth the Atlantean to Jesus Christ to Buddha to Allah to Christian to right, all of these master teachers. If you really listen to what they're telling you, you cannot not manifest on this plane. It may take a minute, and it may take a blood, sweat, and tear, but you will get a manifestation somehow, some way, if you truly believe it. I mean, the way I see it is in my reality. If you cannot believe it, you ain't going to see it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, loosh. And like, I believe you got your good positive loosh that we release from ourselves, and also you got your bad loosh, and like demons that operate on a low vibrational frequency and archons, they all feed off our negative loosh and can instigate it to actually manifest even more in us. And like you got your, if you believe this, you got your positive loosh that we manifest, which is absorbed by angelic celestial light beings, if you like. Nothing gets wasted in the universe because energy is the currency of the universe, and that is what loosh is, energy.
Then again, you've got those people that see something and they still don't believe.
Yeah.
I run into that a lot. But it's always nice to see that whenever you're trying to teach, to think outside of the box, right? Whenever your only thing you're trying to, it's what I guess the Matrix is for. So great is there. That table is so large that we've got people from all over the world with so many different kind of beliefs, right? And I truly think that it's beautiful to bring them to the same table, and we can all have a formal discussion, and we don't have to get mad about it. That's what I love. That's what I love
keep it at a healthy debate, right?
Right. That's what I love about the Matrix, is because we can all throw into the conversation and not really get mad and or get angry about.
Right.
Yeah.
We just explore all the possibilities. That's it.
That Miss Morgan Roundtree, I love you. Where's your old man at? I love these two. Morgan and James are great people. Morgan says, I've got my tea and my vape, and I am thoroughly enjoying this conversation. Well, thank you, Morgan.
Yeah. It's a pleasure to have you all near us and contributing in the forum. Thank you so much. And as you can see, we don't get trolled. Esoteric intellectuals, virtually all of them are that are joining our show.
Here's a question for you, Matthew. Tammy is asking, you that if Aleister Crowley was so brilliant and not evil, then why is the Cabal trying to commit massive genocide and ultimately enslave the remaining humans?
It's a good question. The reason I say brilliant is because let's look at Charles Manson for a minute. It's almost as if when the mind cracks under the false pretense of fear. Fear stands for, to me, false evidence appearing real. So if the mind fragments at this suppression, this control, this again suffering, right? This suffering, then something happens. Again, Crowley was a brilliant, crazy motherfucker. If you really think about it,
Right.
truly he was. Okay, was now again a lot of people like look at him as evil. Why? Why is because he pushed the envelope on every single thing that could be pushed. Literally. That to me is he was using an intellectual mind to literally to bend to bend the fabric of reality. Again, our own CIA has been involved in the Crowley records. Okay, the man was brilliant. Charles Manson. Did he kill? Let me ask you. Did he kill? Did Charles Manson kill anybody?
No, he had somebody else do it. Yeah.
Isn't that brilliant?
Brilliant. Yeah.
I'm just saying. Okay. I mean, let's look at all of these minds. Let's look at all of these minds, okay, that have been pushed to the brink of control. Their egos are way big. This is why when this scared the shit out of me when we got accused about a year and a half ago of the Matrix minds being an occult. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, what? I for a minute, for a little bit, I made fun of it. I'm like, yeah, the Matrix minds is an occult. We talk about all kinds of things, and you're more than welcome to come to our pew. And I had to make fun of it, bro, because it's whenever you get minds that are absolutely out of the box, have been through all kinds of trauma, all kinds of suppression, all kinds of conformity. They're living a life of destitute, and or they are what's the word, dealing with trauma, or they're dealing with, what's the word I'm looking for? It's again, oh my god, the word suffering. Why? You're right. Then is when the mind kicks in. We've heard the terminology. Well, no one's going to give a shit until it happens to them. Right? We've heard that, and this is true. Absolutely true. No one cares a damn thing about anything that you're talking about until it hits them.
Right. And whatever gets hit with what individual, it differs from how they're going to react to it. I would imagine.
But again, the journey we're on, the hero's journey. Are we going to learn from these master teachers like Christ? Are we going to really truly learn what they said? Don't know. You know what I'm saying? What's that? Hello, fellas. You're asking super questions raw, humble, and true. Wonder. I was that Pig Latin? Because I didn't understand that really.
Yeah. SZHN says, hello, fellas. You're asking super questions, raw, humble, and true wonder.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay. No, it was the way I didn't quite get it. I didn't quite get the way I'm. So yeah, I mean, we have to. We all truly have got to answer for ourselves. Okay.
Exactly.
We answer for ourselves. I can't answer for Brad.
Right.
And Brad can't answer for Jim. We're all going to come to terms with our own, whether we did or we didn't learn. Barbara Borcher says, I think the occult is fascinating. And it is. It is fascinating because That is the esoteric teaching, right? That we're not really to be taught. James Roundtree's. I studied Crowley a lot when I was a Kabbalist. Kabbalism is a hell of a good topic. They think
Well,
really, really. You talk about out of the box. A Kabbalistic teaching is really quantum. It is out of the box, and it really, really, really will challenge the mind to really grasp what is in front of you. Crowley's goal was to break down reason. Well, if you James, if you are, which I'm assuming you are aware of what is known as the Book of the Law. Okay. Again, this goes with Bradley talking about, do I know anything about Aleister Crowley? No, I know I know a little about a lot and a lot about a little. So with what James mentioned there, Aleister Crowley wanted to challenge reason. In the Book of the Law, which was primarily a channeling of both Crowley's wife as well as Crowley, okay? Because to me, I truly believe that he was going to try to undergo a almost like a twice born ritual, like we shared earlier. Remember that I shared it with you? I truly think that he was trying to reconstitute or reestablish some formality of an occult ritual to try to gain something in the pyramid, okay, in the king's chamber. With that being said, again, he went back to the hotel and with his wife ended up channeling, I don't even remember the entity's name. I think it's something like Ra so and so or some. It's a three soul name that helped him to dictate and or channel the Book of the Law. It was, I think, written in 3 days, something like that. That book was written in 3 days. Vic says, you want to read that, Jimmy? I ain't got my glasses.
yeah.
One has to walk through their own darkness to come to their own light. It's part of one's own evolutionary and consciousness evolution here on Earth.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Midnight Rider says Charles Manson was a solid member of the Illuminasties and even consorted with Elon Musk's mother, Verified, who was also a solid member of the same dark force group.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And Midnight Rider, let's take that a step further. From what I understand or have researched, it was on the internet, so it had to be true. We've heard that Queen Elizabeth was a conception of a concubine with Aleister Crowley. Again, that's just hearsay. I don't know. I would not put it past me, or I would not, put that past them, because again, staying inside the family, ritualistic, Kabbalistic type teachings, yada yada yada. I mean, I would not at all. Crowley went through a stage in his life, from what I gather, and research, that he would literally anything in a crazy man's mind would want to try to fulfill. He fulfilled it. You know what I'm saying? He went to the absolute extremism on every single aspect.
Yeah, Aiwass, Aiwass, Aiwass. That's the supernatural entity named Aiwass. He said that the book had been dictated by a supernatural entity named Aiwass.
Yes, right there, Aiwass.
Which looks a bit like the image on Kim Andre's arm.
Hang on a minute. The Book of the Law was Hootie or something like that, James, if I'm not mistaken. Wheat or some shit. I cannot remember what his name. It was given to Crowley by who was it that
Rob Borges is asking, didn't Crowley, I guess he's referring to Crowley, didn't he start the Church of Satan?
Anton LaVey? Anton LaVey is who started the Church of Satan. Anton LaVey. That was he was a big he was mentored. He meaning by mentored meaning that Anton LaVey, like he'd like to classify himself as Lord Anton LaVey, really dug into the Crowley teachings as well as the Thelema, the Golden Dawn. But again, to answer your question, Barbara, it wasn't Aleister Crowley that started the religion, okay, the Church of Satan. It was Anton LaVey. Aleister Crowley. I'm trying. I cannot, for the love of me, try to. What does the thing want? Rock or wait.
Vic Makarov says Aleister Crowley was given the Queen's title, and his connection to the royal family was strong.
He was also in 1912. He was initiated into another esoteric order, the German-based Order Templi Orientis. I did get it right, OTO. To rise and to become the leader of its British branch, which he formulated into accordance with his Thelemite beliefs. OTO, Order Templi Orientis. Yeah, he actually made a big difference in the whole.
I want to point out here to you guys that what we're talking about, like Barbara said, she likes talking about this esotericism, hermeticism, the occultic teaching. It's very fascinating. Okay, indeed, it is very fascinating. Whether even if you are a Christian, that you're like diehard Christian, I need you, or we would you need for your own self to at least listen to the other aspect or other variable teaching to the teaching that you believe, because I believed in the. You got to remember, I myself, if you follow the Matrix, you'll know who I am, and I make it very clear. I was brought up till the age of 30 in a Southern Baptist church, and this is no lie. Knowing I'm talking snake handling Southern Baptist, fire and brimstone, tongue teaching, mouth, feet washing, diehard Christian belief. And whenever I if you want to know, I'll tell you the story. But waking up to the opposite, literally the opposite of what we're told. In other words, if upper echelon tell you to do this, you go the opposite direction. You run as far as your ass can go in the opposite direction. If they tell you to look north, you look south. You see what I'm saying? They have literally fortified their own belief to the point where, they have fortified your belief that it is now in a formal text, and you cannot learn about your reality unless you step outside of that text. And they've got it's really, really good thing going on. Don't get me wrong. I mean, again, you've got masterminds behind the indoctrination. You've got master people that have wrote the book, made damn sure that what they left out of there, you weren't going to go and investigate, because we're going to name it the occultic teaching. It's Satan, and it's juju, right? You're going to burn in hell for just simply even questioning it. Let's touch on this one for a second. And this would be John D. All of these upper echelon, you got to remember, have always been interested in this, right? And since we're talking about Crowley and maybe possibly his concubine, offspring, queen. Let's go back to 1608 and 1609, right? There's a fellow by the name of John Dee. And John Dee was a scryer. He was an astrologer, an occultist, and an alchemist. Okay. He was a court astronomer for the advisor of Elizabeth I. Did you hear what I said? He was a court astronomer and an advisor for Elizabeth I. He did alchemy for her. He did divination for her. He did hermetic philosophy for her. These people in which we're referring to that label these teachings like Bradley is into, necromancy, telling you that you can speak to source, you can speak to the dead, you can speak to these things. Okay? They like to hide these things from you with the word of control and conformity, and that would be occultism, secret. It is just secret for us. Only we can do these things. But yet again, Elizabeth, we see all of today. Today is mocked, and it's literally mocked in our face. All the time, it is thrown in our face.
Susan says, my soul is healing. Thank you, gentlemen.
Oh, you're very welcome. I don't know how it would be healing from what we're talking about, but I'm honored. I'm absolutely honored to hear you say that.
Yep.
You know, a lot. Let me say something in reference to this expanding your mind outside of our generational indoctrination. I am Matthew Turner. That's who I am, and I am the fourth generational grandson of a fellow by the name of John Turner. John Turner came over here from England and built a home in Salem, Massachusetts, known as the House of Seven Gables. He was persecuted in the UK not just once, but twice for doing what Jim, myself, and Bradley are doing right now. And that is talking about there is also an out-of-the-box teaching.
Right.
Okay. John Turner was imprisoned, again, twice for trying to go against. I'm not trying to go against, but I'm telling you that the church teaching is a fundamentally designed principle scripture for you to follow.
It's an indoctrination. It's an indoctrination is what it is.
And it's generational, meaning that John Turner, 14th generational great-grandfather, went up against that teaching. And here I am, the 14th great grandson, still doing what he's doing. I'm telling you that in order for you to really truly see that we are in a matrices structure, you're going to have to go where you're told not to go. You're absolutely going to have to go there. And I mean that with everything in me. And if your soul is on my hands, I truly can tell you that where I went to that helped me break outside of that conformity, it was real. I tried to commit suicide around almost 15 years ago. And I can tell you that every single aspect of what we were taught it is absolute bullshit. I mean, if they tell you to go north, you go south. If they tell you to believe in this, then you believe in try to find the exact opposite, but question it. Think outside of the box. Question everything.
Right. Analyze it.
What?
We got to analyze it. Barbara Borges says, I know some people who believe that opening your chakras, practicing yoga, using crystals and tarot cards will invite demons into your life. So close-minded and ignorant.
Bradley, you ought to chime in on that. Well, I'm going to go grab a book. I'm going to go grab a book, and you, Brad, and talk about Barbara's question here, or statement. Hang on, I'm going to go grab a book.
All right.
Okay.
You
Sorry.
see that, Bradley? But we'll see what Barbara's saying.
I know some people who believe opening your chakras, practicing yoga, using crystals and tarot cards will invite demons into your life. So close-minded and ignorant. Yeah, I have to agree with you, Barbara Borges. Thank you for sharing your question and your thoughts regarding this show. Let's start again. I know some people who believe that opening your chakras and practicing yoga, using crystals, for example, they are actually forms of meditation. Meditation is good for the soul. It can help you find peace and sanctuary from within, because I believe recognize is a word of power. Recognize is a word of power that comes from the occult, believe it or not, because words of power actually can make changes within your life. And recognize is a word of power. And what we need to do is recognize ourselves, recognize who we are, recognize our gifts and our attributes, because we all have them. So I'll say again, recognize our gifts and our attributes and tune into them. That's what we must do. And to do this and to open our chakras, practicing yoga, using crystals, meditation are all ways to create, to recognize your attributes and your gifts. Also, when I say meditation, you don't have to lay on the settee burning a candle with incense burning with some music, light music. That's not just the only form of meditation. Did you know washing your car, if you enjoy washing your car, that's a form of meditation too. Also like sewing, knitting. There are many forms of meditation. Doing something that you enjoy, dancing, listening to music, active activity, yes, that you enjoy can create a flow of sanctuary within you, and that is meditation. Tarot cards are a mirror to the soul. If you read tarot cards, you can actually get a reflection of your past, present, and future. Mirror to the soul from tarot cards. Although some people believe that that invites demons into your life, but that's a belief. That's not a statement of fact. I don't actually recognise it as inviting demons into your life. I recognise to open your chakras, practicing yoga, meditation, using crystals. Quartz crystals store energy. Jim's familiar with quartz crystals, and he uses them in his therapy.
Yep.
And they do not invite demons. I don't quite agree with that. But if you're closed-minded, ignorant, or if you're an atheist who is one-track minded, narrow-minded, closed-minded, you are going to be ignorant and you're going to be denying yourself the truth, plus causing yourself to become disabled. If you're going to be anything, if you don't want to be a spiritualist, at least be agnostic. An agnostic is someone who's open-minded to the concept of all things. They don't necessarily believe it's so because they're actually looking for some evidence. However, they don't deny it either. So be an agnostic. I think spiritualism is the righteous path to follow. And even religion is an indoctrination of a dogma which some people have found that Christianity offers them a comfort blanket which actually helps them to find their own sanctuary. So Christianity can save lives, believe it or not.
Sure.
But however, we all have our own views, don't we? Did I say Christianity saves lives? Oh my God.
You did.
Was it said on the story? I didn't say that.
But Brad, here's the thing, though. But you got to remember some of this. I'm going to share with you a personal side of me, okay? And I'll share it with you. the majority of the Matrix family pretty much know me well enough to know what I'm about to show you. This is a tourmaline pendant. My chain is broke, but this is my tourmaline grounding pendant. This is we're talking about what's called divination, right? I use a pendulum. This is a pendulum. So, and again, stepping outside of the box, right? There is this. Look how thick this book is. If I had to give or take, this is about a 2-inch thick book, right? It's got over 1,100 pages in it. No, this version has got 762, including the index. But just gonna let you know, say this is another Bible, another Bible, other Bible, another Bible. Okay.
Bible, yeah.
This book contains in it, okay, and I'm talking the texts are literally smashed in there. I want you to see how small the text is.
Wow.
It is really, really, really smashed in there, okay? But this book,
that's a whole lot of writing there.
bro, it's a whole lot of reading.
Yeah.
This book has indeed changed volumes, okay? It has changed volumes. I didn't say it's changed versions. It's volumes. Usually what they're going to do is they're going to add to this volume a manuscript, right? They're not going to, whenever we talk about Christianity and religion, they're like, whenever I got somebody coming at me now, I'm like, well, pick a version of Christianity that you're going to attack me with. Okay. Because there are so many versions of the Bible. There's a new translation. There's an international translation. There's a Kingdom of Jehovah translation, meaning the Book of Jehovah, right? We're talking Pentecostal. Then there's versions of the version of King James Orthodox, King James So different versions. This specific thing here is a context put together of primarily all of the major books that have been left outside of the context of the canon, minus this book, minus the book of Thomas and the book of Enoch, okay, which are the book of Watchers. It is also lacking the books of the first book of Adam and Eve, and the what's known as the poetry and the book of Mother Mary. That is what's left out of this. However, again, it's not versions, King James Version. It is volumes, and as they add volumes, they'll change volume. They don't change version. This has got in it the Gnostic Gospels, the Dead Sea Scrolls, incomplete. I mean, it is complete. A visionary wisdom text, Christian Apocrypha, which would be translated to or out of, that was translated out of what's known as the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Okay, there's also an Egyptian Book of the Living. Are you aware of that one? There's also Jewish papyri in here, and also the very end book, the Kabbalah, okay, or the Kabbalistic teachings. So those who wonder, whenever they come at me sideways about I'm attacking the Christian belief, no, I'm not attacking the Christian belief. I'm just coming at the Christian belief with a whole lot more of knowing, reading. This book here is called the Kabbalion. See it?
Yeah.
That is by what's known as the three initiates, who teach pretty much what I believe, God's source. I believe in source energy. We cannot be created nor destroyed. We are part of the mind of all that is, and my God is all that is. So
exactly.
I won't argue with you when you say, well, my God is Muhammad and this is his teaching. Okay, that's fine. That means that my God is an aspect of what you believe. I'm glad. Great. I'm glad that you believe in something.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So same with the Christian belief. I'm not really going to absolutely die hard kick into someone's ass just by trying to rip apart Christianity. Christianity is a block. It is a cornerstone to a being. Okay, you can't just rip away that safety blanket because it hurts. Whenever you start diving into this kind of content, and I'll even show you this one. I will even show you this one, and that's this one. I have read that. I think multiple times.
Satanic Bible, yeah.
I don't even look at this as a Bible. I look at this as Anton LaVey's. I guess back in the day it would be considered a blog post.
Yeah, you look at it as an education.
I look at it, I look at it as nothing more than, he's got in here things like it's called the second key key to understanding.
Well, let's put it this way: if we're all made in God's image, and God is all things, God is the good, the bad, and the ugly, just like we are.
But how can now I'm gonna be the double-edged sword, and I'm gonna say, well, how can child sex trafficking be justified?
Well,
Let me ask you
on that level, that is a matter of who conceives what is right and what is wrong. What one person sees as being wrong, another person sees as not being so wrong. It's a matter of how you conceive it.
Right. So this goes into my understanding and belief that the fundamental principle of source energy, and I mean literally source of every single aspect of everything, everything does include no things. Okay. Fundamentally saying from what the Kabbalion teaching, the occultic teaching says, what it says is that in the mind consciousness of all that is, you are there, and there is all things, even no things are in the mind of God, in the mind of source, and that's where we are at. We've got choice whether we want to experience the left path, the right path, or the middle path. The understanding is that of the initiate and how he takes the perception of his own journey, the hero's journey, to my belief. Right? I don't agree with child sex trafficking. I don't agree with.
Well, I don't either. But right. I mean,
that your God is experiencing that.
Right.
You know this. I now know this. I mean, I again, the principal teaching of the occult understanding is knowing that no matter what you see and or believe, there's always going to be something better and there's always going to be something worse. All is mind creation that you're in will have an experience, that of a greater expectation or that of a lesser creation. It's just that simple. If not, God is not, no offense, but if your God is not literally all things to where it doesn't even have a name, it doesn't to me have
energy.
A name.
It's an energy.
And what is it?
It's a source in essence that makes all things possible.
Right.
But we happen to be living in a random, unforgiving, chaotic realm. I mean, that's just the way it is here.
How do you begin to even remotely talk about how the all is encompassing, loving, creating, omnipresent mind of everything could even remotely allow such negativity in our world?
I think because we can't have positiveness without the negative. You got to have both opposing forces. What I do is I walk a path straight down the middle, acknowledge, respect both, but worship neither.
It's a hell of a good statement.
Yeah, Druids follow the same principle. They neither worship nor give praise to any god or deity because they believe there's good and there's bad in both the light and the dark. Therefore, they walk the grey, they walk the middle path and pay homage to all. That way, if you pay homage by showing respect to all and don't talk ill of the dead, like you should.
At the end of the day, what I do is, I don't really care what others think of me, but what is most important to me is what I think about myself.
That's a hell of a good sentiment and morals to live by. There's very few people. Here's the thing: you got to remember, there's very few people that we know these days that believe in values, principles, and morals. I'm serious, man, and it scares the holy shit out of me whenever we go down that road of and talking about morals, values, and principles. Because again, it's like these kids today. It scares me as to what we're going to see. Although on the other hand, I look at my own son, I'm like, you're a good kid. And it's not just because he's my kid. You know what I'm saying? He's a great kid. I believe that moral standards, judgments, his judgment, values, principles are going to shine. What were the comments that you flashed up there, Jimmy?
That was Bradley. Put that back up, Bradley.
Oh, like, sorry, like, yeah.
Go back to two comments.
Okay.
It was Morgan.
I'll go back.
Morgan, Barbara, and Vic.
Yeah. Well, there was sorry, not this one. I'll get them.
Because these guys have got some amazing statements. Where in the world? I'm trying 7 hours ago. I'm trying to find this specific stream as well. Christopher Peebles says,
I can read it, sorry.
You want to read that, Jim? I'm looking for the chat.
Yeah, Christopher Peebles says,
Okay,
just took it off. Non-thing is a non-physical concept because things are physical. And for something to not be physical is for it to be not defined as a thing, but to be defined in terms of archetype and mind.
This conversation is getting my soul fired up. I'm glad, Morgan. I'm glad to see that God isn't doing the child sex trafficking and humans are. Again, that statement right there, Bradley, that you just popped up there was you got to understand that God in itself, whether it be your belief in the Lord God from the Bible, whether it be Muhammad, whether it be whatever deity that you believe in, Morgan throws out a really good statement, and the word humans are right there. There is nothing that you're seeing in our physicality that is not done at this moment and at this density, none other by the human being, or it would be, woo-woo, juju, reptilians, draconians, mantis beings, because I'm a diehard person that believes in we are not alone on this planet. So something physical, like Morgan just said, humans are doing the trafficking. Reptilians are doing the child sex trafficking. Draconians are doing the child sex trafficking. We physical entities, okay, which are a manifestation of the all that is. Jim believes in the all that is. I believe in the all that is. We are manifestations of the awareness, consciousness within the mind of the all. Okay.
Right.
That is really hard to grasp. But again, the human's manifestation is what's doing the dirty work. It's a perception. That's all it is. It's a perception. We see it, we don't like it, and we know how to fundamentally end it. That's the key. We do know how to end the child sex trafficking. We know how to end it.
Some say deities, they enjoy the smell of burning flesh presented to them in a sacrifice. collecting the death energy, that is what they actually tune into. Although everything is debatable.
Well, I got back here. Hang on to the barber's comment. Don't delete it. That goes without question. We've also got the Bible. I've got the Bible back here. My Bible that my mom gave me. What was it? What was it back in the Old Testament days, right? That these lords, these great builder races, they loved the smell of what? Lamb. They loved the fresh smell of burger, right? The most best lamb must be chosen and sacrificed for the Lord, Yahweh, Old Testament God. Again, it goes back to Lord of Wars. Yahweh was a Lord of destruction. Exactly what it was. Barbara says, what? God is not a man like some people think. God is there we go. God is the highest vibrational frequency of love and of life that flows through every living thing in the universe. It's our job to tune in. Amazing statement, Jimmy. What do you think of that,
for
Brad?
sharing that, Barbara Borchers? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with
Sure.
that. Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah,
where matter of choice comes in. Choice and intent.
Well, see, what we talk about on the Matrix is the free will choice being manipulated and being taken from the human being. I've got a spirit. I'm a spirit I've got a vessel, and the vessel's named Matthew. I myself inside, which can move my own little spirit around my vessel. Everybody on the Matrix is aware of this. We've done this example. We've done this practice. So you know that you're in there. You're somewhere behind your eyes. You're between your ears. You know that you're in there. So you're a spirit with a vessel, not a vessel with a spirit. And with what we're talking about here, the vibrational frequency can very much so be heavily manipulated as well as controlled. So you got to become Jesus Christ taught you in the Bible and in the book of Thomas and even in the book of Enoch, or the book of Enoch teaches you, know yourself. Know yourself. And taking that a step further, Christ's teaching says, know thyself, and you will realize that you too are what? You too are gods. You are little G's. You can only. What's that?
The thing is, though, if there's outside forces that are controlling anybody, where does judgment truly play a role?
Well, I guess you would ask, when is this game going to come to an end? Right?
Well, I mean, obviously, if you got MK Ultra, you got all these cabal and all this controlling mechanism. If you're not, in other words, if that's going to dampen free will, how can judgment be imposed on anyone for what they do? In other words, if they're doing something beyond their control or something they normally wouldn't do because they're being controlled, what fairness is there to have judgment be involved?
Well, the judgment, if you would be per se, is in the teaching of the Kabbalion. This is again an occultic teaching. It would be what we know in the esoteric world as karma. Okay, Bradley's very well aware of it.
Oh, exactly.
We're all aware of it.
Exactly. I agree with that. I'm a firm believer in karma. That's why. That's why I feel as though the bottom line is what I feel about myself is most important.
And it is. I truly believe that you are aware. You are aware of your own perception choices far greater than anyone on this planet. Right. You know yourself very, 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 very aware, very well. Okay, you know whether you've made a good choice or you've made a bad choice. Right? But that's because you've got an indoctrinated moral compass. Okay, through your genetic line, your DNA carries a code. You're programmed to have a moral compass. You see?
So is that to say that a serial killer was pre-programmed to become a serial killer? And if that's the case, why should he be judged if it's beyond his control?
Well, there's some, if you think about it, that have been labeled as mentally insane, right?
Right. Right.
And they say, the judge and the juries will say, well, we're going to let him off because he's fragmented. I just took that word from Vic. The guy's fragmented, right? And he's kind of off his rocker, and well, he's some bitch is just insane. We are a fragment of Prime Creator, and through us, he's experiencing our meat sack reality, and all others going through the same elsewhere in greater and higher expanses of the cosmos. That's a damn deep statement right there. We're a fragment of Prime Creator. I like to tell in a little story like right here, Vic, and that is this. We are part of, again, if you step outside of the book, I'm just telling you, step outside of the Bible a little bit and research some of these books. Research the teachings of Ra. Research the teachings of the Kabbalah. Research the teachings of even Anton LaVey, the Satanic Bible. If go wherever you need to go, okay, to literally catalyze for your own self what Vic just said. You are a fragment of Prime Creator. Prime means master, perfect. It's it. Okay. Going back in the very, very beginning of the broadcast, Jim, you asked about what the pyramids were designed for. Back in the day, again, they were perfection, absolute perfect. You heard Ramtha say that it was to remind you of what you are, who you are. There's a fire in the middle. There's an unknown force, vortex energy coming from soul source, coming from Prime Creator. Them pyramids are as a beacon to remind you that you are a Prime Creator. You are of that. Okay. Don't ever let that be taken from you, knowing that you are a watered down version, okay, of Prime Source. You are experiencing through that, like Vic said, meat suit, the reality, causality, and Jim likes to say, of total chaos. You have absolute ability to create in this world two types of energy. You can play with one main energy, because it's your choice. Do you wish to create with it or cause chaos with it?
Right.
It's all yours to create with. Really good statement, Vic. We're a fragment of Prime Source. And again, I like to try to say it like this. We are our own self. We are our own self, like a clam, okay? In this multitude facet of a cosmos, an infinite. Think of the cosmos as literal infinite. The mind can't even truly grasp what the word is, but just bear with me for a minute and try to shift your mind into every single probable possibility, infinitely thought, known, experienced, perceived, every single totality of thought. That is what you are, as the Prime Creator all is. Well, Jim says, I want to be me. I want to be me. I want to go through my own hero's journey, my own perception of all of these things. So Jim sets out a part, and Prime Source says, because here's the key. We all have a draw. We all have a longing for and a draw for to feel Prime Source. There's something always like lacking. Like we all want to believe there's more to us than just us. That is the Prime Source feel. That is the draw from which you came. and the longing to be back. That is what makes the hero's journey, our journey as a being. This is an amazing place. It truly is. Even through the shit we all have got to go through, this place is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, my opinion is the bottom line is life is a journey to be experienced, not a problem to be solved.
I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. That's why I try very hard, dude, to put my ego in check literally every day. I seriously, as big as the Matrix broadcast is, I have had to crucify myself daily because seriously, because coming from a position as right now I'm a guest on your broadcast, but coming from a broadcast host for as long as I've been doing this, it would really be easy. It really be easy for me to fall into that pathway of being ego driven, being higher than you, mightier than you, right? I'm serious, dude. And it really, just to throw this out there, really pisses me off, those people that do allow that to happen to them.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
Bradley.
Sorry, I'm responding to some inboxes here as well.
They're saying never bring this cat back. He is totally whacked. The hell with the out of the box. This son of a bitch ain't not even the same book. Right? What do they say, Bradley? It's never bring this fella back. Is that what it is? Are you getting spammed with a bunch of hate mail because of me?
Actually, what was I going to say? I was going to say something. I'll tell you.
Morning. I'm watching the Matrix broadcast chat. I'm watching these guys.
I'd like to say,
they're
welcome to Out of the Box. Welcome to Out of the Box. This is the Matthew Turner Show.
Oh,
with your special guest, Jim Andre and Bradley Powers in the house. Hey!
You guys are
killing me. Matthew, thank you for having us. It's been a pleasure to listen to you and your esoteric intellectual information that you've been sharing, which not everybody is able to assess, and all those who have absorbed it recognize that you are speaking words of power, words of wisdom, and you are recognizing that words of power create manifestations in the cosmos, and everyone listening is actually recognizing it. Because
they do, Bradley, they do. And again, this is the thing. We are not all separate, even though we're all separated as individual causalities and perceptions. Okay, truly, my belief is not that to persecute the Christian belief. I won't. I will not. I will, however, challenge them. Okay, right. to the degree where I want them to think outside of the box. Right.
Exactly. Yep.
Barbara says, "Oh, it's 11:11 in the Matrix chat." Morgan Roundtree's laughing her ass off at me. That's great. I'm glad that I could make you laugh. I'm going through the Christopher Peebles says to be demented is to be away from mind, and since the one mind is a source, being demented means disharmony with the one mind. It's a really good statement. It's a hell of a good statement. Lee Grantham says, great show, Matt. And the out of the box guys, hell yeah, man. I've enjoyed being here. I don't know how long.
Thank you for that week. Yeah.
How long do you guys broadcast? Anyway.
Well, we usually go for an hour, but you're a special guest, so you can have the floor as long as you like.
Oh, really?
We didn't want to be rude. Like we was going home a quarter of an hour ago, but like as it's your show, like you decide.
Right. I love being here with you guys. I do. I love being with my family's done turning for the night. I work at night. It's nice and quiet. And yeah, man, if you guys want to go on, we'll go on even longer. I want a cup of coffee. I want a refill. That's
Okay,
all I'm
well,
asking for.
before
So
you go.
if you guys want to talk some more, if the Matrix guys want to talk some more, we'll absolutely
Yeah,
continue
well,
this.
let's see what the viewers think. Let's see if we get a couple of comments up there.
But
All
like, we
right.
could probably go like another like 15 minutes. That takes us 2.5 hours long. We could probably go another 15 minutes. That's not a problem at all. I reckon.
Whatever you want. Whatever you guys want
Yeah.
to do.
There was
Hello,
one
Nancy.
time, me, Cassidy Lightwing, who was a co-host of my show called Esoteric Hours, and Jim Andre, all three of us got together and we broadcasted a show called Esoteric Hours for 4.5 hours to a audience. 4.5 hours. It was the first time all three of us had got together.
That was a marathon. Yeah, that was definitely a marathon.
4.5 hours. And we kept an audience riveted to the seat for 4.5 hours, and they didn't want us to end the show. They wanted us to carry on. Like, wow, it was amazing.
These guys up in the chat, in my chat, I had to watch the window. They have literally heard me talk for 3 hours nonstop. Just me. I'm just saying, just me. I get on a roll and I get to talking about my life. I mean, we have not even begun to take the journey, your guys' journey through the Matrix through my eyes. I mean, I've not even touched on the shit that I have been through in my life that has led me down the road that I'm on. That alone, I can talk to you for that alone for almost an hour or two. I mean, this is the key with Out of the Box, the Matrix, and what makes our shows so great. Okay, and I will say this is because you guys, as well as everybody on the Matrix, we allow them to be who they are as an individual, non-ego, and share their story.
Exactly.
That's right. That's what makes all of these things on what we're sharing so great.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like a round table where everybody can share their own experience. I mean, that's what it's all about,
Morgan says I'm off tomorrow. Miss Peggy Brodowski says hello. Miss Peggy says, since I'm late, I have no clue as to what you guys are discussing. Well, I'm gonna take. Okay, sweetheart. I'm gonna tell you what. I myself am gonna take a break. I'm gonna go grab a cup of coffee. You're gonna listen to Jim and our dear friend Brett here.
We'll have Bradley sing a song till you get back.
Yeah, we'll have Bradley read all of the hate mail because I know this will probably. This is great talking to you guys. I will never be back here after we resume.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about, did you know you can buy esoteric milk? And that's what I'm drinking right now, which makes you more esoteric intellectual. Or maybe what I'm really saying is...
Wow, that's the first. I never heard of esoteric milk before.
Or soya milk. Soya is extracted from the soya bean. I drink a lot of chocolate soya milk, actually.
Yeah,
and
it's good for you.
Soya bean.
I can fill the gap a little bit. For those that don't know, I do energetic healing, and what I do is during my sessions, I use shungite stone. This is called shungite. This is the only stone that actually emits an energetic frequency of its own, and I can do a demonstration on that. Right here, I have a regular ohms meter. And I want to set it on the frequency setting. See, I gotta have to prop this up here so you can see it. Get this a little higher here. Kind of hard to see, but there it is. I'm going to contact both electrodes on the stone itself, and you'll hear it emit an energetic frequency.
Did it break?
It's a shungite stone. See, I connect the. That stone's actually emitting an energetic frequency of its own. It's a shungite stone. That's what I use during my healing sessions.
Tammy Bottom says that you can charge your water with that. She's
Yeah,
right.
it's also used for purifying water as well. Exactly.
All right, so let me hear some hate mail, Brett.
Oh, I'm not. I can't go to my hate mail. I never respond to hate mail. I tell everybody on my team, don't respond to hate mail because that's what they want you to do anyway, which is a form of trolling. Any attention is better than no attention at all, whether it be good or bad. So hate, yeah, they love to basically troll and well, we don't tolerate in that group. In our groups, or in any of the groups on our platform, our foundation, no one's allowed to mock another individual. Everyone can share phenomenal experiences in every group that I have, and that's about 15 in all. That everyone can share their phenomenal experiences without fear of mockery, hatred. Put the crack pipe down and what was you on LSD at the time? You don't get none of that. There's no mockery, no trolling at all, and that's what makes our group special on Facebook. Because I know groups like Reloaded, 350,000 members, plenty of trolls, bots, porn even gets posted in there. But the point I'm saying is, like many groups on Facebook, you will get trolled, mocked if you share phenomenal experiences, whereas not in our groups on our platform at all. Vic Makaroff is my project manager. He ensures this is true. It's a true statement. Yeah, no mockery. And do you offer the same services, Matthew?
As what?
No mockery, no trolling.
You well, usually a troll does not last too long in the Matrix chat. They usually they get weeded out pretty regularly.
Peggy Badowski's asking me what type of healing do. I do all types of healing, like Aiken or Reiki, different illnesses and whatnot. I do them right over the internet. Use a energetic frequency soundtrack, and I've been successful at it. I mean, I've got people that can validate it. So Bradley knows that. Yes,
I have spoken to some of Jim Andre's patients or clients, and they can validate, and they have validated the fact that they have been cursed with cancer, and they've been to a hospital after having therapy with Jim Andre. They've been to the hospital, and the doctors and the surgeons are confused and miffed because they don't understand where has the cancer gone. They had cancer and now they don't have cancer. How can the cancer disappear? That's virtually impossible. It is an impossibility. Cancer doesn't disappear by itself. And Lee's all had therapy by Jim Andre. And Jim Andre is very humble.
I've done many others too. Like I've got friends on Facebook have a toothache, headache, and it all works. It's a matter of belief. In the belief that you can, and we all have that ability. But the thing is, if you're going to do or practice something like that, and you got that just a little inkling in the back of your mind, that little voice saying, "What am I doing this for? This is never going to work. It never will." That's why not everybody can do it.
It's what Jim has actually been blessed with is telekinesis, which is a form of quantum physics. Quantum physics is science that scientists and physicists don't fully understand. And I've experienced quantum mysticism for much of my life, and they would actually consider quantum mysticism is a form of gibberish or jargon because they don't really understand it.
Yeah, Barbara's asking sound healing. Yes, energetic healing. Use believe it or not, it's a soundtrack that was actually arranged by the Zeta Reticula themselves that I am connected to. And there's no other one in the world like it. And when I do the sessions, they're 20 minutes long. And that's how I do them.
Can you?
And I don't usually broadcast it, you know. And when I do these sessions, I don't charge any money for it.
Can we
Right.
touch on this real quick about what exactly is this quantum healing? What exactly is this sound healing that Jim does, right? Well, it is known as truly what this is doing is Jim himself is not doing the healing. Okay. Jim is allowing you through him to catalyze what you already know in your own source being. He is just the conduit. He's just telling you, you can do this. You know, you can do this. You've got every aspect about you to do this. You have this. You are indeed, you are a hermeticist, your own self. You are an alchemist, an alchemist, your own self.
Yeah. In layman's term, he's talking about the placebo effect.
Yes.
I
guess.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You go to see a doctor and he'll give you a sugar pill, the placebo effect, and tell you that it will work and make you better. And if you believe it to be so, then it will be so. The sugar pill. Yeah.
Do you guys know there's recordings there's recordings of some placebo surgeries. Did you guys hear about this? There's placebo surgeries where they went in and done some things to like an ACL to somebody's leg, and all they did was like put the holes in the leg and kept them out for an hour and a half or so on and so forth, right? And again, nothing was really done, right? Nothing other than the holes put in the leg. And the guy gets done with the surgery, and guess what? He's healed. All simply because he's seen where the surgery was done. Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful, instant manifestation. Right there. I love and believe alchemy is the best secret key. It starts in the heart, man. It starts in the heart. No damn doubt about that. Barbara got a question. She says, do you think that the med beds heal with sound technology? That's a good question. I haven't seen a med bed personally. I've seen the concept of the med bed. I don't know, Jim. What do you think?
I believe it's got to do with sound, different energetic frequencies. Because the energy is, with the right frequency, the energy itself can actually heal.
When my wife went to have her hysterectomy, it was an emergency hysterectomy, and I can tell you that I can literally show you a light that I designed. It was a seven chakra light, and I was literally shown in my mind how to build this light. So when she came home from surgery, it was in my mind and in my heart to lay her on the couch and have this 7 chakra light hover above her. Okay. Hover above her with the chakras of the light assigned color to each chakra of the body. I would play in her ears via nothing but a cell phone and headphones, healing. Sorry, my bad. It was the sound frequency of the universe. And I'm going to tell you right now, when she went to go get a checkup for her hysterectomy, she went to go get checked out 2 days afterwards. And the doctor said, "Oh my God, I can't believe that you were like healing that quick. How are you up and about?" And like she's like, "Shit, dude." She was at that. not even a day and a half later, bro, she's out in the yard with me picking up shit, like picking up sticks or raking.
Exactly. Yeah, it works. It works. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
It does work. Yeah.
So between the frequency, right, the sound frequency in which you do your healing to, as well, and the light. Okay, Thoth. If you really want Thoth, the Atlantean, Thoth told me how to build the light, and I built this light. And again, it's nothing more than a swinging box. It stands no more than about 4 feet tall, 3.5 feet tall, and you just lay on the couch, and it rolls over top of you, and it's got 7 light bulbs in that light. It's amazing what light therapy will do for you. What do you think? Anything else going on? This was an unexpected surprise for Sunday night, says Barbara. I thought you guys broadcast at 9.
Yeah, we do. You're the unexpected surprise, I believe, is what they're referring.
Oh, I am, dude. I am.
Lee Grantham says, great show, Matt, and the out of the box guys.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. We'd like to hear some encouragements from Paul. Thank you so much, Lee Grantham. I will get that off. Sorry.
I was having a hard time getting that one down. You like that one, huh, Bradley?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Hang on a second. You got like 17 viewers. Morgan says, lovely surprise. I was shocked when these guys like, hey, come on the broadcast. I would love to have you. I'm going, oh, what? I'm like, hell yeah. If you don't mind, I'm serious, dude. I might, again, I myself, I can go, dude. I can. So as long as you guys will let me talk, I'll talk. I got plenty of shit to share. I truly do. What do you? Can I share some more? I would love to share some more.
Go ahead.
Let me explain to you guys what happened to me, right? Because you gotta realize that my life, I very rarely get to share my life with my audience, with the audience. Peggy says, "My dear, you should rewatch it. It was great." Peggy Bordesky. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Morgan.
Thank you, Morgan. Thank you, Morgan, for promoting our show. Yes. Yeah. Wow. Our show, Road CC, our show is every Sunday and Thursday, every Thursday and Sunday of every week, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. If you can make a note of that on your calendar. Sunday and Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you. Oh, that's a very nice thing to say. Peggy Bardowski says, I love these guys' voices. I could listen to them all day. Oh, and that's it. Yeah. So, round 2. Bradley and Jim stayed late with us. We certainly have, Morgan, and we're not going to say why, but we have stayed late with Jim. And we're not complaining because, we also like the sound of Matthew's voice. He's sharing esoteric intellect, which you all enjoy hearing. So, there's no complaints there.
Morgan says, bring Jim and Bradley on a Monday or Friday.
Do that. These guys are always welcome. They've got their own broadcast right here, man. I love it. I can catch Sundays, says Peggy. Yes, you can. All right, so let me take everybody through a walk real quick as to what the hell happened to me. Okay, gotta remember whenever I started this journey about this esoteric journey, as Brett likes to say, esoteric journey. Speaking of which, I do believe Bradley's got his esoteric hour. That too is a complete different show, right?
Uh-huh.
The esoteric hour with Bradley Powers. The journey I went on was one that I don't really recommend going down, and that is the substance known as dimethyltryptamine. We all know here on the Matrix, as well as out of the box, probably that inside of our head lies this little teeny tiny bean-shaped gland about the size of your thumbnail. And this gland is called the pineal gland. I knew nothing about, I will tell you right now, hands down, I knew nothing about this shit 17 years ago. Knew nothing about it. What I did know is I worked an average 16, 18 hours a day. My wife will tell you she's seen me a whole maybe 3 days, 4 days maximum, 5 days out of a month. I was always gone. I was always doing things. I had a trucking company just like literally beating me and killing me to death, both mentally, physically, and for being as young as I was at 28 years old. I started my own trucking company at 22, 24, and going and getting involved in that industry so young, as well as I grew up in it. What had happened to me some 15 years ago, I'm taking me a minute to get there, but I will get there. Again, the stress of life. Okay. In the matter of 2 years, on top of running my own trucking company, 9 semi trucks, 10 bitchy, very complainy drivers. Drivers are bitchy and complaining. I was stressed, so I hired this fella, in which became my best friend. His name was Jim Kikos. He was from Randolph, Ohio, and I met Jimmy back in 2014 and 15, whenever we were going through really hardships with fuel. I had to make a decision to either keep my house or keep my truck. Keep my house, keep my truck, and pay for bills, pay for food, just like live, right? The stress. In amongst that stress, I lost my house. I lost my dad. Now, mind you, I was going to church in the same church. We could have gone down an Aleister Crowley story here, because I was in church with my father, and I was playing guitar and acoustics in the church whenever my father passed away. And I was angry. I gotta admit, I was a lot like Crowley. I was angry. I was really, really, really angry. And wasn't shortly after my dad died, I got a call that my grandmother was really, really ill. So I watched her perish. And then right after my grandmother passed away, me and my best friend that was helping me with relieve the stress with paperwork, Jim, ended up, me and him got into an argument over bills or some shit, expenses or whatnot, and I got into a confrontation with him, and I'm like, I do it, but I remember, oh, fuck you, and I flicked him off and off down the road I went, not knowing that by the time I get back, Jim would be dead on his front porch holding a cigarette in his fingers. He died of a massive heart attack, in which we now know would be called a widowmaker. So I lost my father, my grandmother, my best friend, and then we'd already known that my mother was sick. My mother was dying. I ended up burying my mother that very year. Big pill to swallow. Mom, dad, best friend, grandma. And at this time, Melissa's father was going through cancer at the time. He was battling cancer himself. And she came over here to stay with him. And in amongst, again, all the stress of life, the trucking company, the way I was, the asshole I was being, she's like, I think it would probably be best that we separate. Wait, what? Did you just say what I think you said? Dude, that was too much for me. I knew that Matty J was fine, dude. I knew that Matthew James was going to be fine. Little 7-year-old blonde kid, always smiling, always happy. I knew. I ended up calling Melissa. I talked to her for a little bit. Told her, I'm going to be all right. Enjoy the rest of the night. I'd still talked to her, right? So, nevertheless, I got from my next door neighbor at the time in Randolph. Now, mind you, this guy is not even here. He overdosed on heroin. Okay, I should have probably did the same thing. He got a hold of some fentanyl laced heroin, and ended up checking out. Not that night, but I'm just telling you another night. So I ended up taking this little substance. I'm talking just a little cigarette-based cellophane, right? The cellophane. So this would be just a little, just not even a bowl type, right? Bowl, cigarette bowl, one bowl full, right? It was probably a bowl full and maybe a half a bowl. Long story short, I put it all in this bowl as much as I possibly could, and I told John, the guy who purchased this for me, I gave him $80 and told him to go to Akron and get me this shit. Just get me whatever the fuck you can get me. And like I said, if I was truly gonna do what I did, I should have did what he did. But he brings me back this little baggie, this little cellophane full of powder, crystalline base powder, clearish, kind of like milky looking throughout. I stick this shit in this bowl, and I'm wanting it just to be find me by the pond. Okay, find me by my pond. I'm gonna be fine. So I lay down there and I hit this bowl, and it started an onset. If I could describe the taste of this, grind up some tire, preferably, I don't know, Goodyear Highlander, 22 by 30 15s. Grind up some tire, stick it in a bowl, mix with dirt. It's what it tastes like. It tastes like shit. Absolute blah. So I hit this as best I possibly could, and I instantly cough it out. And I'm like, oh shit. And I just hit this stuff again. It's just as hard as I could possibly hit it. And I was right, all substance, no air. I'm just burning this shit down through the bowl, right? And I'm like, whoa. Within 10 to 15 seconds, man, this shit starts to hit me. My head starts to tingle. Seriously, my head starts to tingle. My face felt like it's like not even there. And I'm like, man, oh yeah, this is gonna work. And mind you, dude, this is coming from a guy did weed. Okay, I smoke weed. I don't smoke weed now, but I'm just saying, coming from a guy that smoked weed. I hit this shit for the third time, just as hard as I possibly can, and I can almost guarantee you this was the action. This was the action I took. I'm like, that was probably the action, because by the time I took that third hit, somewhere between the third hit and me going, it felt like I'm looking up at the moon. I'm looking up at it. I'm watching it as everything's feeling weird, tingling, becoming brighter, becoming distorted, becoming much more vivid. I'm looking at the light, right, projecting at me, and I can like see like particles of like, ether around me. Dude, I literally at that point was sitting there. I seen a beam of moonlight, just like we see during daylight time, a beam of sunshine. You know how you can see the rays of the sun coming down, right? This was anyway. Nevertheless, I was focused on this beam, and dude, I'm telling you, through the tingles of my face, through my body vibrating at such an intense frequency. I mean, I could feel every aspect of my being. And I shot. That's all I can say is I felt a very high amount of pressure building up in my forehead. And it's like someone took a damn ball bat and hit me between the two eyes. I shot up this beam of light, Jim, and it was my being beyond. I'm talking, I didn't even have time to feel the movement. I could just perceive the movement. Do you know what I'm saying? I couldn't feel it because I was too worried about feeling my stuff, right?
Yeah.
I'm watching I'm feeling my body. And next thing you know, it's literally just whiplash. You're like, through my forehead, dude, I shot up this beam of light completely through what I think was the moon. I passing, God only knows what kind of like different galaxies and universes and stars and shit and just stuff. And next thing you know, I felt myself slowing down, and I felt myself just kind of like wobble back and forth, and I'm nowhere. Literally, I'm like, I'm nowhere, but I'm somewhere. So where the hell am I at? I'm in total darkness, and the darkness was so dark it was light. I'm talking like it was. Let me say it again. It was so dark it was light. I could literally see the darkness. I knew I knew that I was there. I knew that I was alive. I knew I was aware. And stepping out of my own self, I guess, I tried to look at myself, and I couldn't see myself. I was so I don't even have a word. I don't have the word for it. I was all present, I guess. Michelle Espinosa in the chat, which is a shaman, she says she's using the word down here, void. If it's a good, the word sums it up. If I had to describe where I was at, it would be void. Okay. Ground Pounder says, shout out to Hero here. He's talking microdots, orange microdot LSD. That's a whole other different walk, bro. But yeah, I was again everywhere and nowhere at the same time. And I guess the key to grasp here was I was everywhere and nowhere and aware of being there. And I wanted to see where I was at. And I've seen this little team. Imagine, say, someone taking a big lighter in the room, right? And it'd be a huge ass gymnasium. Let me share this with you. A gymnasium. We were in a gymnasium of total darkness. Okay. And you can see in this gymnasium, all totality in black. If Vic or Mike were to light or flick a lighter, right? Would you think you would see that flick of light? I seen that. I seen that little teeny tiny spark way, way, way off in a distance. Just a little teeny dot. And this story right here is why I cannot smoke weed today. Because it triggers this experience, okay? So whenever you hear me and Larry Hawkins talk about me, Matthew, I can't smoke because I'm always chasing the pixel. You've heard me say this to Larry, okay? I'm telling you, a normie would say, you were just fucked up. All right, I agree with you. Jim, I was fucked up. Okay, I was. I cannot lie. Whenever I finally focused on that little pixel, I'm going to tell you now, when I finally focused on that little pixel, I didn't even have to think about being, what is that? I didn't even have to remotely question as to what that was. I thought the question, but the moment I even thought the question rolled into me was, how am I questioning what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling if I'm dead? I was aware of being dead.
Right.
Okay. Now, going back to the non-trip, was I dead? Or was I experiencing what some people would experience, the ego death, or possibly a walk-in? I don't know. I have no idea. So I focus on this little pixel. And the moment I focus on that pixel, I'm drawn into the pixel. I'm drawn into this little spark. And again, this is where I get the spark story, my little spark story I share with you, because I'm able to share with you a description of what it's like to be part of that source, be part of that totality of all things. This is as close as I can even remotely get to it. And that is, I become part, I seen the pixel, and I had a drawing in, and the moment I was like, yeah, I want to see what this is. It was a feeling. It wasn't just necessarily a question, but it was a feeling, Jim. I felt like I wanted to experience this. So I go into this pixel, and the moment I'm sucked into this pixel, I literally watch the darkness and the light fucking separate. Did you hear me?
Yeah, you watch it separate. Yeah.
I literally watched my experience go from a total, I'll use Michelle's word, total void of nothingness, all that is omni nothingness, okay, to a now I am sucked into a light of all is light. Now, with that being said, where the hell was I? Because the whole entirety of everything I seen was absolutely so bright white light. I could not even really focus. I had to like if I had eyes, I had to squint. All right. Let's see, you guys have been canceled. I'm always getting ready for. Oh, love you, Peg. You take care of yourself. Don't leave, Matthew. Let me finish. Let's finish my story. So I became aware of this little pixel, and this is where you all, every single one of you, Jim, Bradley, Vic, Alan Carpenter, James Roundtree, Morgan Roundtree, Rose, everybody that's hearing me, hearing my voice, vibrational frequency now. I'm telling you, you picked this moment. You yourself picked this moment to hear what my crazy drug tripping ass has to share with you. I'm hearing TV, I think. Who's got the TV on?
I don't know.
Wow, really?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, bro. I'm hearing.
I hear that. Not here. Wow.
Yeah, do you hear that? All right. So anyway, I'm gonna try to cast that aside. So we are all here, okay, to experience one another. And here's how I can validate that for you. Now, we've all heard the words. We've all heard the words that you create your own reality. But to what detail do you create your own reality? To what depth do you truly experience this creation? I'm going to tell you the best I can possibly express to you that you, now I know this is a very, very, very far out stretch of what you know yourself to be, okay, especially from the Christian beliefs, and that is it is really hard for me to say even now that whenever I wasn't my being, I was part of everything. I was part of something that I can't even describe. And it didn't matter what I believed. It didn't matter what I believed when I chose to do what I did. So I guess what I'm saying is don't rush off to die, but also don't be worried about it, because there's things in your experience that I learned from this experience that is key. And that is you chose to be here with me, with Jim, with Bradley, with everybody in your world.
Yeah.
Because in that experience, you were there. I promise you, you were there. I chose to experience that experience. I am choosing to experience what I'm experiencing now, or I wouldn't be experiencing it. And I can't even explain it. All I can tell you is you at a completely unknown level of your own self chose to experience, whether it be a pain, whether it be a reality of, need I say, suffering, abuse. We have chose to experience all of these things for a reason. And I can't even begin to give you an understanding of why. I just know that it's for a reason. That is what I got out of it. That is what I got out of my experience. I didn't like myself. I didn't even remotely like myself. I had no idea how I had friends. How in God's name? Because I was a fucking asshole. I was. Nobody that I came in contact with, I gave two shits about. Nobody. And now I've been talking to you guys for 3 hours to get to the end of the result, telling you it's going to be all right. We chose to come here at a really, really unique time. It doesn't get any more exciting than the times we are in right now.
Yeah, and I also believe that we all connect for a reason.
I do believe that. I absolutely believe that. We're all up in here together for a reason at the time. It was just supposed to be, says Miss Barbara. Yes. I totally agree with what Gurley said right there. Michelle Espinosa says your inner divinity. Oh, God, it scrolled too fast. Miss Michelle Espinosa says your inner divinity interfered with your supernatural intuition. Oh, shit. The hair on the back of my neck just stood up. Reading that comment. Bradley, I again, this is your all's broadcast, man. I didn't mean to just railroad into it.
Are you talking to me? You talking to me? Well, I'm the only one here, so you must be talking to me. I'd like to say thank you, everybody, for Matt Turner appearing on our show, Jim Andre's and Bradley Powell show. It's been a pleasure to have you as a guest, and you're welcome back anytime. Look at you, talking for 3 hours. You could talk for England, Scotland, and Wales. You never told us that. And you kept the audience riveted in their seats, relishing in savoury, esoteric intellect, which they all enjoy. Thank you so much for sharing a little of yourself with us, Matthew. Thank you so much for sharing.
It's been a pleasure, Matt, to have you on. It's been a pleasure. Yep.
Been fun.
Oh my God, there's a question for me. Peggy Bardowski says, Bradley, where are you from? I'm from Essex, England. about 40 miles from London. I'm originally from Southend-on-Sea, which is known as London by the Sea. I am now living on the marina where all the yachts are in Swansea. I live 30 miles right now. I live 30 miles from where Merlin was born. Merlin was born in Carmarthen. I live 30 miles from where he was born, because Merlin, the most famous sorcerer of all time, is a genuine living figure. He was real. And also, I live 50 miles from Newport, where King Arthur Pendragon was born. King Arthur of the Knights of the Round Table was born there. Yes, because the dictionary says that King Arthur and Merlin are myths, legends, fallacies. Well, actually, that's not true at all. That's misinformation. They actually did exist and do exist to this very day, because our energy never dies. Our consciousness lives on, and I have encountered them in spirit as well. And that's why I thought I'd promote them. Yes, Matthew, King Arthur and Merlin are real and still exist to this day. I don't know what you think about that.
Thank you. I loved being here. I truly did. I especially not having to really be the host, just be on your own show, just talking about life, just talking about things. I love the just go by the flight in the seat of your ass, whatever. I love those shows. Usually they turn out to be really good. We've done it numerous times on the Matrix. It's like, what do we talk about? Oh, I can't have a show tonight because nothing to talk about.
That's what we do. We just go with the flow, man.
Yeah, man.
And also, Matthew, this has. Sorry, Jim. What was you saying?
I just said it. We go with the flow.
And also, Matthew, this has been a little bit of a trick on our part, because we have played a trick on you, and you have proved yourself and passed our test, because an American network television channel called Roku Television is offering us 50 million viewers. They've been waiting for me to assemble a show together, and like we've been trying to look for the right moment, and like the right moment is basically upon us. We've got Jim Andre, Vic Makarov, and you, Matthew Turner. 4 of us is plenty. I'm going to negotiate a time span for the show, which could be an hour, 1.5 hours, or 2 hours long. I'd like to see our show be 2 hours long. We're presenting images and short video clips to enhance our show at the same time. That's what I'd like to do. That will be happening very soon, and you have proved yourself worthy, Matthew. I knew you would be anyway, to be honest with you. We're all worthy.
I'm honored, dude. I truly am. I am. I'm honored to hear you say that. I've been an interviewer the majority of my life. Coming on your guys' broadcast, I've been on a couple other podcasts, but I've never really had the opportunity, other than on my own broadcast, to share my life. I mean, I'm always talking about everybody else's experience and shit. I do, however, but I'm honored that you're even saying that I'm worthy of it. I mean, it's not about ego to me. You know what I'm saying? It's about everybody's got a story, and I've got a story too. I do have one.
Yeah, that's right. You do have a story to share, and your story is valid. You share words of clarity, you're passionate, and you're sincere. And we like to surround ourselves with sincerity if we can. And like sincerity, not everyone's got it, and it's a blessing if you have. Yeah, because sincerity is also enhanced with passion. You're passionate about what you do.
Being real means a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
and like I just add something. Tammy Barton says, "I'm glad you're still here with us, Matt." Yeah. Someone says, Midnight Rider says, again, we are eternal light being orbs having a temporary sensory experience in an organic vessel. We are eternal, but the organic vessel can't function without being animated by the light. And like Midnight Rider, I really am impressed with what you just said, because I agree with you, and it's debatable what I say, and not everyone does agree with me. Is it possible that before we were actually spiritual entities. We were actually eternal light beings, orbs to begin with, orbs, all beings, possibly created by celestial orbs, using blessed with the will of God. That's what we was created by. Is that possible? Well, everything is debatable at the end of the day. Vic Macro says, very cool show, guys. That's from Vic. Thank you, Vic. And yeah, Peggy Bardowski is basically saying it's not true. Yes, they did exist. Merlin and King Arthur, Pendragon did exist. Some say, like, I'm going to interrupt a little bit here. I've got to say this. Some say that Jesus Christ was brought over to England on a boat with Lady Pendragon. Okay, Lady Pendragon is related to King Arthur Pendragon of the Knights of the Round Table. Lady Pendragon came over here with Jesus Christ to Stonehenge. Okay, and at Stonehenge they met Merlin, most famous sorcerer of all time. Because Merlin is a prophet. Merlin is also a Time Lord, and he went back in time to meet Jesus Christ at
Yeah, but I don't believe Jesus went there by boat. I believe he just walked across the channel.
Yeah. Oh, James Roundtree. Yeah, Lee Grantham says, I believe they were real. James Roundtree says, great show, gentlemen. Amy Jo Schaefer says, once again, I'm late, story of my life. You could always rewatch the show, Amy. It's definitely worth watching. Christopher Peebles says, yes, King Arthur and Merlin existed. Peggy Badowski said, oh my God, what a blessing. Oh my God.
What the hell happened to Bradley?
Oh,
Look at you.
He's
I'm
a
going to share
sidewinner.
something real quick that a
He's
lot
sidewinner right now.
and a lot of people you just said something about Christ coming to England, right?
Yeah.
I want to share this with what you'll just some tidbit for the Christian community, because again, I love everybody, and it doesn't matter. Your belief to me doesn't matter at this point in my life. After the experience I shared with you, it does not matter to me whether you hit me with you are a light bulb worshiper or an otter prayer. I could care. If you want to believe in whatever you want to believe, you can believe in it. I'm going to throw you down a rabbit hole, all of you, and I really, really, really want you to listen to what I'm saying and just dig in what I'm saying. We're all told about the story in the Bible, the Christ story of his teaching, his very little of his life. Okay. But I want to touch on two fundamental things here. And one of them being the best friend of Christ, and he was known as Lazarus, right? We all know the story of Lazarus. What happened to Lazarus? Jim, tell me the story of Lazarus. Do you know that story?
Well, I've heard of Lazarus, but I'm not too familiar with exactly what his role was.
Lazarus was the best friend to Christ. Okay. And he, from what I understand, came down with an illness, very sick. Days after he perished, Lazarus' sister, who was also friends with Christ, went to Christ and said, Christ, your best friend, my brother has perished. And he says to her, cry not. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's going to be okay. Didn't even sweat. Take me to Lazarus. So we know the story of how that goes afterwards. Christ calls forth Lazarus, and he appeared to be among the living. Okay.
Right.
That teaching is a teaching. And I say that because if not, Lazarus would still be walking among us today. Think about what I just said. If the God trade no
Freezing up. You
This
froze
was a
up there. You froze up there for a minute.
I'll bet I did. This was a teaching of the Christos. This wasn't a formal, real thing. This
Right.
was a doctrine teaching, okay, of the story of Lazarus. And also, I'm going to point this out to you. Do some research on whose tomb Christ was put into. See, we're all told the story of our great teacher, but never do we truly know about where his body was laid.
Right.
Where his body was laid in the tomb of a fellow that was known by the name of a Joseph of Arimathea. Okay. This guy was known in the world. Joseph was very, very powerful, very wealthy. Wealth and power gave him first dibs on the body of Christ. Listen to what I'm telling you. Okay. He was given, mind you, this was on a Sabbath, right? This was on a Sabbath. Even in that day, Pilate, the Roman, said, we need to hurry this up. We are going to celebrate this week. Let's get these guys off the hill. It usually takes, okay, if you do research, it usually takes between 3 to sometimes 6 days for a body to die in the formal way of a Roman crucifixion. That would be a hand nailed one side, a hand nailed the other side, and straight the middle.
Oh, you're frozen up again, Matt. I don't know if anybody else can hear me, but I know Matt's frozen on my end. Yeah, Matt's frozen up again. I think maybe the energy's telling us to, oh, now I'm here by myself. All right, man. I want to thank everybody for joining tonight and interacting with our forum. It was great. We'll see all you guys on the next one.